Oh,
What was that?
The music.
I recognized it.
Van Halen, jump. On hand jump. All right, I think that's coming through.
but yeah, like my justification whenever that DM says that, it's like you do realize that some of the best character builds usually revolve around those kinds of characters. Like for example, Dragonborn, one of the most interesting characters you can possibly make. Kenku are so fun to play because you have the right to either not speak throughout the match or like take recordings of everybody talking and just like mash it together like Bumblebee.
The only reason I can think that someone would have a problem with something like that is because they were struggling to reconcile either they didn't want to learn new stats or somewhere along the way they had a player who they felt alternatively it could be that they didn't like that there was added diversity in the game, which is a thing people do. But I don't think that would be, I'd be surprised if that were the case.
I feel like in fantasy diversity isn't a necessity, it literally just comes in naturally.
Yeah.
Like I've never known fantasy to need more. Like, think about it. In fantasy, you get everything, everywhere, all the time.
A little bit of everything.
Did you get yours?
Yeah. It's like the internet, but better. Oh, I didn't grab a mini. However, I will use the D100 as a
Okay.
bullet.
I got
Dave,
my guy.
Do you have a mini? Do you want one?
I don't.
Find one.
Wait,
Alright.
I found
So
the
we're
dragon one that you used.
theoretically we're
Yeah,
live
I know.
streaming to YouTube.
I really
but
should
it's,
print-
unlisted.
I really should print a pancakes miniature. I have them on Hero
I mean, I have a kobold if you want a kobold.
You have a pancakes miniature.
No, but I should print it on Hero Forge because I have one on Hero Forge. I just haven't printed it.
Do you want a
I got
kobold?
14 tokens.
I should have a kobold somewhere.
Maybe.
So yeah, when you get over there, I can actually make try to make Riptor. Cause I've noticed they don't have like cargo ears.
Yeah, works.
I know, but I've looked on it. They don't have cargo ears.
Well, that's where kit finishing's for.
Oh, Michael, I don't think you saw. I was able to.
Yes.
So Hudson, Summer, and Dave, which is the group of friends that does the 3D printing, they also printed me a bunch of ruins that are like buildings and stuff. I don't think you got to see those because I don't think I brought them.
Hey, I've seen that one.
Yes. Well, this is like we've used this one. These are old. I just actually organized my stuff. Of course, the kobolds would be.
Should I message my dad to clear the print bed for our arrival?
We will be printing.
Yeah, I'm gonna message him clear the print bed for our arrival.
Clear the print bed.
We are going to. That's the wrong one.
Here, I'm gonna message him.
So, just as a recap, oh, I had it in a separate bag out of the box. So, just as a recap, last we met,
Did you make Athena? Oh wait, no, that's a skeleton.
That's a skeleton.
From behind, it just looked like it.
I think she would be offended at this.
To be fair, she would have said it's pretty. Oh my gosh.
See what was on that corner of the map.
Not much.
All right.
Are you offended,
Harsh.
Pancakes?
That means you don't know. You don't know that it's not much. It's literally a waterfall. You don't know what's in the waterfall. Come on, man.
Fish poop.
Okay, you guys are gonna come in over here.
Okay, so we're over here.
Your characters are here. These guys are gonna be kind of scattered throughout.
Why was she putting octopus in?
Because there's
Poor
water.
octopus.
I don't want to fight an octopus.
Okay. Let's see.
No, I'm waiting for you guys. Oh wait, is this your character, Dad? Yep. Okay. Here's Dad's.
Weird. Up there. Okay. That's fine for now.
Crusader.
So, when last we met, you all had finally disembarked, or you had embarked on a sea voyage. The maiden voyage, at least for you all in the ship. You headed into a little bit of roiling waves and sea, and you came across as you all kind of got settled into the roles you had on the ship, you came across another ship out in the at sea, and we're able to communicate
where the group is.
by coming alongside the ship and shouting back and forth with I believe it was a Goliath.
Yeah, it was a Goliath
Yeah.
that thing.
And so that's represented by this guy right here. And he, you guys were able to communicate, and he basically told you that if you followed him in, you'd find safe harbor from the storm, and there were hints that perhaps there was more that he needed from you, but he wanted to speak with you separately. But he has a nice ship with a full crew, and he led you into an inlet and a small and a cave where the boats could basically be safe from the storm. And the weather diminished and became a gentle mist as you kind of got inside this more protected area. Once you, so you guys get your boats, you weigh anchor, and he waved for you to disembark as you enter into what appears to be a large cavernous community of creatures that with a variety, speaking of diversity, a variety of different types of creatures. Some of them rather large and scary looking, and but this seems to be some sort of it's like a community that, if you think of like the Star Wars cantina, but maybe not quite so rough and tumble. So, but you're kind of in a community that that has that kind of feel to it. Like there's music, there are musicians playing, somewhere in there, and the music seems to echo through the caves. You can hear waterfalls. There seem to be shops and business keepers and stuff in the region, kind of with their wares displayed up against cavernous walls and little huts and things like that.
Sounds like a good time.
So it seems to be a small cavernous village of sorts with a hodgepodge of varieties of creatures, including this 7.5 foot, 8 foot Goliath here that beckons you off your ship.
As far as we know, he's chill, right?
He seemed pretty chill.
I think you guys had the insights insight checks you had didn't indicate immediate danger, and there seemed to be a sense of something more that he was needing from you, aside from just safe harbor.
Like, the worst this guy has for us is a, unfortunately dangerous thing. I'm gonna get off the boat.
Okay.
I'm fine getting off the boat.
Did she just say have fun getting off the boat?
Oh. I'm fine getting off the boat.
Yeah, let's get off the boat.
Off the boat.
So, do you leave any instructions for your
That's right, the Gator Boy.
for the Gator Boys?
Keep an eye out. Take good care of the ship.
And
We'll
don't
be
kill
back.
each other.
And if you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
come with us,
Should we take? No, we need some people at the ship.
I think we asked their opinion. They should be getting used to taking initiative and having opinions and stuff.
What do we
Well, yeah, but when you think about it, we do need people on the ship with us. Or on the ship.
What did you say?
Do you have signal flares on the ship?
I don't think.
Signal flares were not something you found on the ship. So if you wanted them to be able to signal somehow, you'd have to give them some sort of tool for that.
Anyone know dancing lights?
So would you ask for ideas from your crew, or yeah?
I would ask if anyone had any way that these guys could signal while we're gone to us if anything bad happens on the boat.
That was to the crew, and you guys in the group.
Sorry. Could you say that again? My dad was messaging me.
Is there any way that the crew can signal to us if something bad happened on the boat while we're gone? That we can see and come.
They don't know spells, right?
No.
Not that you know of.
I should probably ask them then.
What?
Nora's asking about possible ways for the Gator guys to
To
signal.
us in their time of need, if anything
So
happens.
Smoke signal. Do the Gators know how to make a fire?
On a wooden boat?
Yeah, let's not do that.
That's what I say. Is that really a good idea? Fire on a wooden boat. We barely made this thing waterproof.
Well, they could. Like, do they have arrows that they could shoot up in the air with fire on them? That we could, like, have some type of a. That'd be kind of like a.
What if we're too
An
far away
arrow
to
might
see
be
it
too
and it
quiet.
falls on the boat and sets it on fire?
An arrow might be too quiet for the
Yeah.
cavern.
Ask them if they have bells.
Would they know how to shoot the cannon?
We don't have a cannon.
We don't have
You mean
one.
ballista?
That
Well,
wouldn't be allowed.
I mean, it's. I mean,
Yeah, ballista's just a big arrow cannon.
well, actually, it's a big pike.
Yeah.
It's essentially a giant steel stick with a point on it. So if they shoot it into the rock, I'm sure-
Right, big arrow.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure if they shoot one into the rock, they'll hear it. Have you ever heard the sound of metal on rock in a cave? That is loud.
That's true.
Well, then, yeah, they could do
Just
So you guys want us to like make a bunch of noise if there's a problem?
Yep.
preferably shoot the rock with a ballista, which I'm going to move on the drawing after.
What if we need the ballista to like shoot people and stuff?
Yeah, that's my main concern.
Like I mean, we're trying to learn from you guys, so I'm just asking questions. I don't know.
Well, it's going to be hard to shoot people with a ballista because the
Do any
bow
of
is
you guys-
extremely slow.
Do any of you guys know any magic?
Magic just says abracadabra.
I think we're all willing to learn, but we never had anyone schooled in that. I don't think so yet.
Magic isn't exactly a very easy thing to learn.
Haven't we trained them how to fight?
They've got some basics, but you've only had them for a day, so they've started. We can just make a bunch of like clattering sounds
There
with like
might
the
be
metal
some.
stuff.
There might be some like pots and pans around the ship.
Yeah.
No, we have a weapon storage.
Yeah,
Remember?
we could bang some swords or armor and stuff together if that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's
We could just
good
make
idea.
a big ruckus. Is ruckus a word? I heard it once.
It is a word.
Not recognized by the dictionary, but it is a word.
Just yell, whoop, and holler as loud as you possibly can. That's all we can ask.
So
you.
if someone comes here, if there's some sort of problem, say whoop, here it is.
Whoop, there it is.
Start shouting, basically.
Don't look at us.
Or you can do the Tootsie Rolls.
Yolanda's like be my DJ in the band the other day, and I'm like, why is this the first song that comes to my mind? But so I did just yesterday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, anyways. Okay, so oh yeah, so we can make we'll make some noise. It'll be good. It'll be good. We're good. All right. Well, so we'll try and keep the place clean, and we'll watch out for like danger and stuff. And so, what do you want us to do if you don't come back and stuff?
Call the police.
There ain't no groupies. Run.
Oh, okay. So you want us to run with the boat?
Put it on your shoulders and run.
Yeah, run with the boat. Maybe maybe organize like a search party.
No,
So,
search party.
so like after like an hour or like a day? How long? How long were you wanting us to?
After a day.
A year.
Not a year.
I think we'll do what we can to check in.
How many
later.
gators are on the boat?
You have 3 boys, and they had names, and I don't remember what they are.
Here, I got you.
Somewhere.
I know
I wrote them down.
Yeah.
Because I'm the good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did.
Note
Azul,
taker is always the favorite player.
always. Azul, Chartreuse, and Turquoise, also known as Zuli, Big T, and Tyrese.
right,
Zuli,
Big T
is it
and
Zuli or
Tyrese.
Azuli?
Zuli.
Zuli, Big T, and Treese.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Alright. Tyrese.
Tyrese, that's what it was.
Because this guy right here just had.
I liked it. That's right. So yeah,
This guy here's the weird names.
and stuff. So
Yes.
with that, You guys disembark, which is cool. So as you move off, he will the large Goliath will come down and big smiles, almost unnerving just because of the size. It's kind of like when you hear someone who's perfectly nice, but they've got a deep, gravelly voice. It makes them sound like a serial killer.
Like this guy?
Yeah, well, that.
Wait, I sound like a serial
That's what
killer?
he seemed to say.
Well, no, I didn't listen for the serial killer part. I was already pointing
You
at
were
him.
too busy planning the joke.
Yes.
All right. Oh, she got you.
Wait,
For
wait,
anybody,
hold it.
including my own dad.
Do we have to roll against being frightened or intimidated?
No, it's just kind of the
Only
feel
just
of
a
it.
green
Okay.
dragon.
I don't think he's trying to intimidate.
I know, but I'm just saying there's like a natural.
So, with that,
Nice.
he does say,
Fine, 5. Is that better for you?
Not a whole lot. I just realized this was facing up on the 20 earlier, and I did not put it there.
Thank
Ready
you.
for
Look
your
what I did to
cinnamon
your
rolls?
dice chest.
Cinnamon roll, please.
Go.
No.
Yes, please. And can you go like have them go light on the frosting and no caramel?
White on the frosting.
Yes, thank you.
You deaf?
Put caramel on the side for him.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't put it on my cinnamon roll.
cinnamon roll.
He's the
Let me see that cinnamon roll. That's terrible.
Craig.
Hot, sticky, sweet.
No.
Yeah, we should just stop. That's my fault.
We should all stop now.
So stop. We're gonna need to find
No,
Wow.
That is also true.
He's like the only good DM I've ever
I
had.
thought he was gonna say he's the only DM I've ever had.
No.
No, I've had like 4 DMs all around. You were the only one who is consistent, good at storytelling, and good at the game.
I will do my best to hold myself to the standard that you have set.
Well, depends. Are
well,
your
your-
DMs high schoolers?
Yep.
Well, actually, no, one of them wasn't.
Are you saying it's basically it's just because I'm
Christian.
mature?
He was a high school.
Yeah, basically.
That's nice that you think I'm mature, Evan. All right.
No one.
Moving forward.
DM
Okay.
is not for mature people.
So,
Please evident of that.
Did you happen to take notes if I named this guy, or did he not get a chance to introduce himself?
You did not introduce me yet.
I didn't think so.
I can write it down.
Yeah, sure. He steps down and he comes walking down his ship's gangplank to this kind of. They've created basically a dock of off of a cave shelf, and that path leads out into this further community. So your boats are like docked over here. And so, as that's with all of that, he'll kind of wait for you to catch up. Welcome to our humble community. Glad we saw you out there in the waters. You all, it wasn't gonna stay safe long if my weather specialists know anything at all, which they usually do. They're pretty good at what they do. They keep us all safe.
So,
He didn't say his name.
what is your name?
Oh, where are my manners? Hey, I'm Captain Bork.
I'm Hemo.
You are
Wait, I got a question. Is bark as in like the root beer?
Bork.
Bork.
Captain Bork.
Instead of
Big
pork.
B.
Nice to meet you.
What is
Captain.
he? What is he? A big dog Goliath? He's a Goliath.
Oh my
dog.
goodness.
I'm a Goliath. My name is.
No, I didn't
I
say it
know.
out loud.
Just like to
do
make
that
you
all the
accountable
time.
for your words.
All the
No. So yes, he says his name's Captain Bork. He
Right.
he says, "Where are my manners?" And he says, "People call me."
Not gonna happen.
What?
That nickname.
It's in
Pleasure to meet you,
Minecraft.
It has
Captain.
already
It's called
happened.
Big B.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's
say
on
nice to
Minecraft.
meet you. My name is.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Captain. My name is Hemo.
Hemo Pancakes. Good to have you here. Glad to get you out of the weather. Hopefully, we can keep you dry a little bit and maybe see if
And this one
we learn a little bit about each other.
Excusez-moi.
This is Nora, and this is.
Oh, parlez-vous français?
I proceed.
Oui, oui, poo poo.
I proceed to try and kick pancakes.
Ah, I see a little sibling rivalry going on over here.
That sounds
Me
right.
holding him by the
That's a
neck. We're
good
not siblings.
descriptor. Good descriptor.
Ah, brothers from another mother's. Sounds weird when I say it that way. I guess you're supposed to say that about yourselves, huh?
No.
The cat person and the kobold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're unrelated, but basically they do act like they have a sibling rivalry.
Boy.
Well, it wouldn't be the beginnings of a beautiful friendship if there weren't some fighting and violence at the beginning. If I know my boys right.
Yeah, I just looked at him and go, target acquired.
Target acquired.
I'm still holding you by the neck at this point.
Well,
I didn't say I stopped going.
One is slinging syrup and the other one is slinging catnip, so they're good.
is that what they're slinging or what? Never mind.
Huh?
Slinging or sorting? That is a question.
Oh, I sling lead.
What? Well,
Well,
actually, yeah.
It's nice to meet you all. Do you have a name for your crew or your ship a group for your group?
Shamrock.
Well, no, that was the name of the inn. We never came up with one for the group. I just realized.
Or
that.
the ship? Does the ship have a name or crew?
Oh,
You do not just call it boat.
The Jolly Roger.
Well,
How about the May Shamrock instead of the Mayflower?
The Jolly Beer
Jolly Beard?
beer
I don't.
because we're an inn.
I don't know.
Well, you're in with Shambling
This
Shamrock,
campaign
right? So,
particularly.
you could call your ship the Shambler.
Or the Jolly Ale. The Jolly Shamble. He got me hooked on the Jolly.
I like the Jolly Shamble.
I'm fine with that.
What do you think, Nora?
Why not the Jolly Shamrock?
I personally vote
It
for
could
boat.
That's not how this works. You can't work.
All right.
You can't work for
So we have
yourself.
Jolly Shamrock or Jolly Shambler? Shambler?
I'm
Is
fine
that what
with
you
it.
said?
I'm fine with
Hemo,
Shambler.
do you have a vote?
Cost you.
The Jolly Rancher.
No. You don't get to laugh then.
He already did. Too late. You can't tell him he can't do something he already did.
Oh
Keep
my
your
gosh.
mouth quiet.
Another? I'm pretty. Do you guys want like we want little plates or anything?
I'm good.
It's more fun to watch them fight over it in one location. so-
Yeah.
Ooh, it is fluffy. That's your
Yes,
hat
it's very
right there.
light and delicious.
It's yours.
I feel like there's something.
Well,
Ooh,
whatever you
Why
call
do you feel
yourself,
like this?
glad to have
Oh
you.
no, I didn't say that.
Oh, I gave you more.
I know. Thank you though.
I don't want that much.
That's fair. I can already tell how food is gonna be.
I shall find it.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Interrupted by
Thank
the
you so much.
cinnamon roll.
The cinnamon of rolls.
Cinnamon.
No.
It's all good.
Unless we're being too loud.
Wait a second, hold up, guys. If a face says cinnamon roll, don't eat it.
What?
Because it's probably cinnamon roll, not cinnamon.
Sin of man roll.
Cinnamon.
When I say it that way, it sounds weird.
Cinnamon.
All right.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I get
Cinnamon.
your joke. It's
So,
alright.
I've been stuck on
Uh,
the Fae thing ever since watching Legends of Evantress. I just don't. I've been mentally preparing for if that happens.
Fey real
What?
instead of for real.
Fey real.
All right. So,
Greg,
well,
please
whatever you
stop.
call yourselves.
He'll never
He's
stop.
a
That's who
dad.
he
You
is.
supposed to not make dad jokes?
I've been doing this since I was 10. I've been telling dad jokes since I was 10. My wife says it's because I didn't have one. Who's to say?
Oh god.
Good
He-
God, Greg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The first time
He's-
first time she
he's
said it as a
better.
joke, and we laughed so hard and then paused for silence for a moment to realize that it was so true.
Oh.
I'm like, it actually makes a whole lot of sense. Anyways, it's just I'm just saying. Look,
I
it's
think-
good to be honest about
Wow,
who you
that's
are with
awesome.
yourself. Right?
So what
God,
you mean to
why?
say is she's definitely a bard.
My wife.
There's
Yeah,
this
she got
mockery.
you with the vicious mockery.
Oh, that part of it, yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
intentional.
If she had one skill, it'd be cutting words. No, I'm just kidding. That's wrong. She has tons of skills. I shouldn't
The
say it
name
like
of our boat is the Golden Goose.
No, what?
Mm.
No.
So
You didn't put that in the
all
book.
of you, no, all of you say, like three of you say, all four of you say different options, and so he says, Well, whatever you call yourselves, the Jolly Golden Goose Rancher boat, Shambler, the Jolly Golden Goose Shambler Roach Rancher boat, the Jolly Roacher.
That's gotta be it now. That's gotta be it.
No,
Jolly Roach.
well, whatever it is, you all seem like wonderful folk, and I just have a feeling that we're gonna get along really well.
Wait a minute, hold up. We should go with the Jolly Roach because no one can kill us. And the last time somebody killed me, I was brought back to life.
Yay,
What?
teamwork.
Yeah, I got killed in the first battle we fought because I was being attacked by like 3 different dudes at 3 different times.
We're not going to mention what started him getting.
Oh no, I used cure wounds to fully heal back from that.
Oh, from the time he ran into the wall.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. You can't just say that and not give me a full context.
No, I think we've told the story before, but it was.
You haven't.
No, it's been hints and bits, and Micah's just like.
The
"Please
short
don't bring
version
it up."
is Micah was gonna try and charge through the wall of an inn to try and surprise the guys,
And
and he
exactly.
just didn't have a really good strength roll.
Because the wall was burning, I had
it
axes,
was
the
a
wall was
valid-
wooden.
And it's
You're
what
a
his
cat.
character would try and do.
What were you expecting?
For the axes to go through the wall before I did.
Yeah, it was actually a really interesting thing, but it's now become a very meaningful story moment. So that's one of the best things. And as I always say, D&D is not about how successful or how big a success or fail, or it's not about whether you fail or succeed. It's how epically and what does it look like.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank
well,
you, Micah, for letting us
come
talk
with me and
about
I'll show you around a little bit. We've got a variety of. You seem like a group that can handle a variety of different types of people. Just don't let any of them scare you. Some of them are big, but most of them are fairly kind folk, even if they're a little odd at times.
I'm
Can I
3
ask
feet
you a
tall. I
question?
stopped being afraid of people larger than me a long time ago.
Mr. Inferiority
Good. That's a
complex.
good attitude. What's up?
So, have there been any new travelers here recently, or are we the newest? What kind of visitors do you get here?
Well, we get visitors that we bring more often. You have to kind of know that we're here, and so we get some people stopping through. This is a common place to stop for those who know of it. We're not. Some of us are reformed pirates, and that's colored the place a little bit. So we tend to be a little more secretive, because while we don't do that, don't take part in those sorts of activities anymore. Some of us have pasts that we're protecting.
In other words, bounties.
Maybe we're just trying to protect what's our own. A few of us have worked hard to get others to escape that life of crime, and so this is a sanctuary of sorts.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah,
All right, good deal.
This is a really good set.
I appreciate that information.
I'm big on being very transparent with anyone who comes here. We don't want you to be surprised if you hear some of our stories.
Just wondering, have you seen any out of the ordinary suspicious activity? Being the guard and all?
Oh, I'm not a guard, but I do try and take care of the place. But as far as suspicious activity, do you mean out on the seas or here?
Here and maybe
How much
just
do
like
we
how
tell
many
together?
times the boats go out and
Not everything.
kind of odd.
Well, in our community, most everybody knows everyone else, and so. But if you're saying ships in the region, is that what you mean? Also, does anyone have?
Actually, I might have a set
Don't
of spare
forget
dice.
why we're here
I got
again.
dice.
Don't
I might
forget
use
why
the
we're
spare
here.
set.
Oh, not over here.
Oh wait, okay, I have one more.
Wait, why are we
Human
here?
trafficking,
Oh yeah, that's
owning
right.
stuff.
Humanoid trafficking.
Yeah, humanoid. Because
I don't know why it sounds better that
We
way.
need to save people.
well, it
We're
doesn't
here
doesn't
somewhere.
necessarily sound better, but it's more broad. Because here's the thing about D&D. It's like it's harder for stuff like that to remember because we're so used to our world. Where humans are like the only thing that are mostly sentient that are being trafficked, other than like animals. Exotic. Those are some really
These are their Magic the Gathering D20s.
That's why they look so
They're
different.
Bloomborough edition Magic the Gathering.
So I'm guessing that is either, let's see what's on the
That's
other
the
side of
symbol
it.
for Bloomborough. For that.
So that's not 20. Okay.
Yeah. It's a little. It's basically like what's the
Looks like Canada.
it is. I can't remember what the Redwall.
Oh, like the
it's
leaf?
like Bloomborough's
Yeah.
like Redwall series in Magic the Gathering. It's like forest creatures or
I
stuff.
think you meant the leaf on it.
Okay. I just realized your dad left.
Go reduce that.
Leoli, you're getting really good.
Keep feeding him.
He's getting really good at this, at some of the art stuff. Wouldn't you say?
I
Yeah.
turned Micah's dice box into a
She
mimic.
doesn't like my box apparently.
she
No,
really
no,
loves
I'm
mimics.
honoring it
She-
by turning it into a mimic.
Did you?
How about toss and enter the gungeon? Basically, it's a mimic that's an entire wall.
Mm.
That's an actual thing. It's called a mimic colony.
Yeah, but it's one mimic.
Yeah, I know. A mimic colony can like combine to form one whole thing.
That's already
Yeah, for example, there's either that or one mimic can actually, if it lives long enough, grow big enough. Like a mimic can turn itself into a house.
I know that much, but I'm like, I don't know. I like. It could be a mimic colony.
Good.
Yeah.
But, I put
you,
a face on the cinnamon roll for you, Micah.
I
That's
think-
terrifying. Why would you?
I'll stand.
I just ate that.
It kind of looks like a blob
Actually, one of the
fish.
cool things about
I'm
playing Warhammer
terrified
is
now.
that because of how it is, you
have this stand.
stand and move around the table. It's actually kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Keep it up. He doesn't like it.
Okay, I was
I
gonna show
feel
them.
like
Oh,
now
wait.
it's only fair that I draw
I'm
something
just gonna
that you
stand
don't
for a
like.
minute or so just to
To make you
I like it. I'm gonna.
because these chairs. are-
We're just standing.
Oh, great. So we're all standing
No,
now?
I'm standing. He's standing. Only the old men are standing.
We're talking mentally or physically? If we're talking mentally, then I'm going to stand up too.
Okay, so
Never mind. I don't
Wow,
like standing
Micah.
up.
this is weird. Sorry.
I will hurt you.
Would you?
Not really. I like you too much.
See, there's the question of, I guess I said would you, and I should have said could you. There's two layers to
Yeah,
this, right?
exactly.
And then there's the should, then the could, then the would.
Yeah.
First, you have to question whether you need to, then whether you can, then whether you can, and then whether you actually have the wherewithal. Anyways, motivation.
Intestinal fortitude.
Show me your
Intestinal
motivation.
fortitude.
Yeah.
Okay, back on topic here.
Never.
Intestinal.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. All right, so you guys are talking with this Goliath. What was the last question you asked him?
Do
If
you know of
he's seen
any
any
suspicious stuff?
activity out of the ordinary.
That's a good question. Let me see. Well, we do keep an eye on the seas. If we are, well, what would count as suspicious to you? Like, are you aiming at? Are you looking for something?
I just blurred out humanoid trafficking.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one. Some of us intentionally got out of that one. Sometimes, barely with our lives or having lost good friends along the way. Recently, there have been ships for a local more traveled port that have been flying uncommon flags for the region. The flag has,
Barley strands?
I don't think so. Why do you say that?
Because that's, and I pull out the letter with the seal on it. What this one has.
Nat 20.
Oh,
Um, oh, where did you get this?
From the ship we found. Found it there, so to take it. Then we found this on the inside.
Was it what was the letter? It wasn't the one from the Oni, it was the one from the ship.
I thought it was from the Oni.
Well, we found two things. We found one from the inside of their ship and one from the Oni.
Okay.
Which one do you guys want me to
We're gonna-
say that
both.
beginning?
Just give him both.
Well, we also have this one here.
Whoa.
You found this from a contractor there.
So you got basically the Oni contract and was it the
And-
ship papers?
And the ship ownership.
Ship
yeah.
ownership, yeah.
Ah,
From this
Well-
guy's face, does he look like he knows something?
insight check.
That's my D20.
From he looked like a guy with a face.
I
And
thought
that
of
face
something
would
awesome.
be readable if I
Even
did
What
it.
if-
enough.
what
Like a
if-
17
What if
or
pancakes? What if
What do you
pancakes was
have
a barbarian and he had to eat pancakes
plus
to go
3,
into
so
super
dirty
rage
20.
mode?
I like that.
He's got a
I
dirty
like
20.
that a lot.
Did you hear what she said?
What?
What if pancakes was a barbarian and he had to eat pancakes to go into super rage mode?
That's
I
hilarious.
actually have an idea for
That'd
a
be funny, but
barbarian where
unfortunately,
the
that's
only
not
time
the
he can
character
lose,
concept
the only
came
time he
up
can
with
use his rage is when a teammate has been downed
Mm-hmm.
or killed, and then you can use the rage, but at like triple efficiency.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That's the only time you can use rage.
Interesting. So it was a dirty 20, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. He responds, and he's not trying to hide it. But even with that, there is a variety of mixed emotions. Well, both of these. So you see a variety of mixed emotions on him. There's a part of him that tenses, and then you can see his eyes like scanning the papers very quickly, as if looking, and he seems to be looking for his eyes beeline to specific parts of the page, and your insight is that like as he's looking at these documents, like he knows how to read them is what you gain from his body language. You get that sense, and that there's specific information that he's scanning for. But yeah, he's responding with a variety of mixed things. And
Could something be encrypted, maybe?
well, these don't have. There's not an encryption, but if you look here, and he'll start pointing out some places on the document. Well, so this is the papers for a ship captain, and so is the 3 barley leaves? Was that the one from the ship or from the Oni? Okay,
Well, we found.
because that was part of.
Well, he turned it,
First
I gave the one from the Oni.
Yeah.
He gave the ship.
Oh wait, I just realized part of the reason why I'm figuring this out is because I'm slightly metagaming from the campaign that we ran with me and Evan and the church group.
Okay.
Oh,
Because I'm remembering the fact that that our characters were being trafficked, but we were able to break out. So I just realized that kind of
I think this is the same world.
yeah, it is the same world, but the thing is, I can't really use that.
can't
There wasn't a
use-
whole lot
you
from
can't.
that either.
I can't use it because it's a completely different character.
But you found it on this ship.
You're saying
Sure.
the barley symbol you're saying was part of the paperwork. Like I said that at one of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so you're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
You're
that
good.
was
Yeah.
part of this game.
Okay, so, well, okay, so if you look here, this is the insignia for, like, these are official papers for a captain, and so, and I recognize this. This was actually an old, there was a salty tortoise, or turtle, that used to own the 3 barley's ship.
Of course, Crush was the victim. I mean, of course, Crush is being the villain for once.
Well, I don't know if this particular tortoise was a bad guy, but those are this set are his papers. So the fact that you have them means that wherever you got them from, either you took them from him and he's no longer alive, or you found them somewhere where he would have been willing to let go of them, or he's no longer alive.
Interesting.
But he was not a bad guy. That one, he was a merchant of irregular sorts, but not one that was bad. Not one we would have been
Not into any sort of malicious practices.
not that I remember from ages ago. Like I was a much smaller, you know. I tried to avoid saying that. I was a much younger fellow back then, but
Just a wee little lad.
this next piece is awkward. I'll be honest. I feel almost ashamed that I know how to read this document you have here. That appears to be a manifest or contract with some particularly sad product, so to speak, or cargo, if you will. But this one is. So, what were you trying to gain from these documents?
We were trying to.
We're trying to stop the operation if we
Yeah.
can.
I'm trying to save people.
Yeah.
being trafficked, and the ones that are being trafficked, we need to save them. I can't even say the word traffic.
Yeah,
We
why
need to
is
be able
that?
to save them and break them free, and put a stop to the tyranny that is these traffickers.
Well, many of us tried to. One, some of us were on ships like this, both as crew and as cargo in punishment.
So let me ask you a question. Do you by chance know where these traffickers
It's
may
actually just balancing.
reside, and would you and any of your fellow cohorts be willing to help us?
Well,
We need to
there's a
build.
variety of ways we can help you, but one thing I can do is show you some things on this document.
Great.
My hand.
When you see documents like these, you can look for hidden or inconspicuous markings that indicate. Do any of you know thieves can't?
I'm a rogue.
So you
No.
believe that thieves can?
I don't know
No,
if I have
I'm-
thieves.
I'm gonna kick you in the knee one of these
I don't
days.
think I have thieves.
I don't think your legs are long enough.
Or
I
would
think
criminal
they are.
background give me thieves can? Would criminal background give me
If his
thieves
legs
can?
aren't, his feet are.
Not automatically.
Hey.
What's your? It is.
Whoa.
It's. I think it's considered a language, but I think only rogues have it automatically. Criminal background would give you.
I am a rogue.
You are okay. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember.
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
so but you've got a handwritten one.
What kind of rogue are you again?
Hold on. Rogues.
What
You
do you
might
mean?
automatically know it actually.
What's your subclass again? I forgot already.
I haven't chosen one.
Give me a moment. He hasn't chosen one.
Wait, so you're level 5 with no.
Yeah, with no subclass. I didn't need one.
That's just a
I
little.
I beg to differ.
Okay. Okay.
Dun-dun-dun.
Okay, I'm sorry. Rogue. I haven't played one in a while, so I'm a big fan of the Inquisitor Rogue. Myself, I think that's what it's called, or the investigative one that's basically like a detective.
Look at it.
Good
So,
class. I'm literally never.
Yeah, rogues automatically get, thieves can't. So you would pancakes would know thieves can't, but to you maybe
Oh, yeah.
make a history check for pancakes.
With advantage or just normal?
Just normal. On history.
This D20. Yep. Nat 20.
Classic.
Yay!
That's
We're
20.
getting a lot of natural.
So I was having you roll to see if it was called that, but because part of it is like some parts of thieves can't are for your family are just kind of the language we use, the way gypsies have a language, or they're really like travelers is more appropriate. They don't like being called gypsies, I'm told. But the naming of people's groups, anyways. But like it has this idea that like there's a special code that your family uses, and then somewhere along the way it really resonated that other people call it thieves can't. So to you it's just an identity, or it's just part of your family language. And then you
Okay.
find out that it sometimes is it'd be like figuring out someone saying, "Oh, you're part of the mafia," you know,
Sweet.
that kind of thing, and you didn't know. You just
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
we
were
used-
in the family.
So for
We used to speak this
comparison,
language around the house.
for comparison's sake, is it kind of like Spanish to Portuguese, similarly, like different kinds of thieves can't, where it's like slightly different?
Yeah, so there are dialects or
Okay.
regional dialects for thieves' cant, and so what he's going to show you. So he says, "Do any of you know thieves' cant?"
This one.
All right. Well, let me show you this because it's a little bit different. The seafarers can't or the pirates can't, even though we all know they can in the right circumstances. He said that in.
The Goliath father.
Wait, you act like dads are the only ones who can tell these kinds of jokes.
I don't know.
They're just puns.
I know, right?
It's fair.
As I
Oh,
said,
no,
I did this. As
I
a
know.
10-year-old.
Dad.
I feel like they get goofier the more.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah, I know.
I heard a really nice, a good stand-up comedian take on this. It's like that it's like what you don't understand about your dad is that he used to be funny. Him and his friends would tell all kinds of jokes that were hilarious, and then but he can't tell certain types of jokes around your mom anymore.
Yes, yes.
Which, as you know, loving Jesus and whatnot, like that is not really what it is. But there's a point where like to funny dad jokes are clean jokes, the bottom line. So if you're trying to do morally safe or sound jokes, you get a lot of dad jokes. Anyway, so that with that, back into the game. I swear I can focus. He was saying, so if you know Thieves Can't, I'll show you some differences in Pirate Can't. One of the things to be aware of is that when pirates use it, they'll often hide information in documents like this that will look like regular manifests, but if you look closely, you can tell that and he'll point to some markers that point to that like indicate a place to look on the page, and you'll note that there's a slight set of indentations that aren't inked. They're like pressed into the page, almost like a seal does on paper, you know, without the wax.
Kind of like a dry pen or something.
If you've seen, have you seen the YouTube ad for those little book press, like unique book press markers thing, like from the library? It's basically like if you stamped an engraving into paper.
Okay.
So it's just embedded. Yeah, it's like there are indentations in the pen. Yeah, but they don't look like they do embossed.
Yeah,
It's something like that. All that to say, it points to locations where, like, if you're just looking at this thing, it looks like there are a bunch of little random, like, oh, this document's just beat up. But if you follow the markings he shows you of Pirates Can't, it points to a specific, like, seal of sorts, if you know what to look for. And it'll say, here is where, if you're following these, it won't be in the same place on every document. But you can follow these markings, it'll point to where to look for these. And this tells you, this shows you what the symbol for that is. And so for this group, you can tell that they are, there is a symbol that looks, can you see the bear's head with horns here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be the originator of the contract. You would have to take it back to that group. And so whatever their insignia is, it's a bear with horns.
But what does the contract consist of? What is the purpose of the contract?
Oh, this is definitely cargo of people. It's a request for bodies living.
So how do we find the group responsible for the contract?
Oh, that's a good question.
Where do we start, I guess, is the
We've
better
got some
question.
people around in here who, if you can keep secrets, if you're willing to, you might have to barter with them for information, or they have to trust you first. They may send you through some tests. We don't just give that kind of information away, but you all seem like I just got a good feeling about you.
I appreciate that. So,
That's always nice to hear.
Can I just say I like how I love how he uses this dialogue to kind of set up what kind of
kicking we're about to receive?
But the kind of adventure we're about to have in this specific location. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard dialogue like that before in video games, which was like right before like a big investigative part of the game, where you have to do like a lot of things or certain things in order to get a certain result.
Yeah.
So
In a way, it kind of reminds me of that scene from Wind Waker where you're like first trying to work with those like pirates. They have to like put you through some like tests or whatever.
I haven't heard that one, but yeah,
So
I
you're
haven't heard that.
actually
Send
doing
me-
them.
Send me a link of the Wind Breakers.
Wind Waker.
Send
It's-
a link in the chat. I'm excited.
Well, it's a Legend of Zelda game for the GameCube.
I did not know that. Cool.
It's good.
GameCube was not. It was probably in my school era
Or
or heavy work era, family era, something like that.
Hmm.
Okay, so with that, so all that to say, I can take you. Who would be the best person there? Well, whatever the case, just be aware these guys are going to need you. You're going to have to earn their trust. It might take a bit to get information out of them. They're not forthcoming all the time, but now at least you know where to look if you see documents like these before. And so if you know Thieves Can't, you know how to read it for pirates now on some of these documents. But you know, let's get you by a fire, and I'll see if I can't find someone who might be able to provide a little more information. we've got some former cartographers and scribes who worked for. We basically had to save from some pretty intense organizations, and they were the bookkeepers and that sort of thing.
Mm. Makes sense.
You get the feeling, like you had the nat 20 on him before, but you get the way he's talking about it, it almost feels like this has become a form of like witness protection program safety in this community. So, yeah, where you've got a lot of reformed people who have tried to step away from a life of crime and piracy, and sometimes are that you get this kind of sense of like it's almost like a community of witness protection, where they all kind of take care of each other, that kind of thing.
Makes sense.
So let's walk over here, and so he'll take you. You guys can travel over. He'll take you across a bridge. He'll say, mind the steps there. He'll take you over to the center. There's kind of a center core island, and this whole thing is like varying levels. Mind the steps on the bridge. Beware if you ever need to. Watch out for that clasp right there, because if we're ever invaded or attacked, we have a way to make the bridge fall, but you don't want to accidentally kick it. Be aware. And so he'll point that out. And you'll see little mechanisms that very rudimentary, but there are pulleys, gears, and a winch, and a kind of clicking mechanism that you're like, that there's like a piece of wood that is clearly like bent under tension, and it's like that thing looks like it's about to just snap like a twig, but it's there.
So
Hasn't broken yet.
so should we make like a mental note so that, or is it like visible enough that we can?
It's not super obvious. Like you may or may not have noticed it. It's a little bit hidden, but it's one of those things. It's like watch out for that. Don't just walk into it or kick it or anything. It's what it's a defense mechanism.
Somebody kick it.
But yeah, he takes you. There's kind of a center, a center area where some people have almost like a fire pit going, and there's a couple. There's like a mini minotaur. He's like a dwarven-sized minotaur.
Nice. A minotaur dwarfism. Wait, so does that just make him like a normal person? Like
No.
normal size?
I mean, but with like a bull head and horns and hooves.
Well, no, I meant like
5 foot.
well, I mean like, is he like
Does
a
he drag
normal
his
height?
head around?
He's like 4.5, 5 feet. So he's tall for a dwarf, but short for very like
Very short
third
for-
size for a minotaur maybe.
Right, because minotaurs are like usually like 7-8 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
Does he have a big head and drag his head around?
Drag his head around.
He's not a pop figure.
I mean,
How
you
do
don't
you
know if he
know?
knows any music.
I know, right?
Oh, you meant the little bobbleheads. So he'll sit here around the fire. Tarmy over here. He indicates the miniature, the mini minotaur, the mini mo.
Weirdly,
mini
not
minnow.
the first time I've heard of a mini minotaur.
It works well. It just rolls off the tongue. So, Tarmy here will kind of. You're welcome to talk with him. He's the local gossip, if you will. Hey, I'm just playing. But he knows stuff. He'll point you around if you got stuff you need. I'm gonna go see about a guy for some stuff for you. I'll come back and we'll talk through. I had something I want to ask you about myself.
Okay.
But let me get you
Thank
squared
you.
away.
Oh, which one?
Hmm?
You said you wanted to ask something to someone.
All of you.
Oh.
Physically.
You could ask us now.
Well, I'm gonna take care of the inquiry you gave me first, and see if I can't get some information or get you connected to a guy as a starting place, and then I'll make mine. So I want to help you guys out first. But we'll see. So he leaves you with Tarmy, and you guys can start drying off. You can feel the heat from this kind of fire pit. Not mini. Just from the fire pit. I almost said. Anyway.
Is he coming from the Minotaur, huh? The new Minotaur?
Is he a fire elemental mini minotaur?
No, I was gonna say bonfire, and I was gonna say mini bonfire. I'm like, that's just a fire pit.
No, he's currently.
So that's why it
He's
didn't work.
currently
Oh,
just
is it
on
like
fire.
during that one session you just kept saying upside down like
Yeah, I had this.
Give
I
a
was,
man a fire, he'll be
I
warm
was-
for a day. Like a man on fire, he'll be warm for the rest of his life.
what? Is it the meme?
No, we said the minotaur is just on fire.
Okay, I recently saw an
It's warmer.
some sort of orc elemental gift that's inappropriate. Moving on, yeah. So the other day I was running a campaign for the at school, and I couldn't remember the word bowl. I kept saying an upside down dome, and you're at the bottom of it, and there's a column coming out of an upside down dome, and I'm like doing this, and I'm like the word bowl. I went and rewatched it with her. I'm like,
The word bowl is just not.
it just wasn't in my vocabulary that night. Anyways, okay, so
Skate ramp.
yeah, I couldn't even get
Half
there.
pipe.
Couldn't even get there.
It's a huge glass half pipe.
Yeah.
Half pipe.
So I was like, the walls are like curving down into a pit, and like I couldn't get there. It was a bowl-shaped cavern. I was like, yeah, anyways.
It's a mosh pit.
I guess it depends on what happens at the bottom. A mosh potato pit. So for farmers.
They're fighting over ownership.
Anyways,
Potato.
Tarmy here sits down. You guys can feel the heat, and you can sense the moisture starting to kind of evaporate off of your clothes from the rain and mist. And it's a nice thing. As you look around, though, you can see, there's a little bit, almost like there are some places where the cavern has almost like some skylight holes to there's some sunlight coming through, with maybe some sort of reflection things to like add a bit of light. But this is just there's some greenery, that kind of thing. So not far off from what you hear. A couple of the waterfalls and things that kind of add some motion and some fresh water. And aside from that, aside from the oddities around, like you see some very strange creatures, and so some of these are represented in the figurines. But like as you're sitting around, kind of drying off, Tarmy's there. What are you guys all doing?
I'm enjoying the fire and drying up.
What we should ask this guy for?
No. He was said that he could like just kind of give you a rundown of the place. So depending on what you want to know about this place, you can ask him questions.
What information can you provide about the area that we're in now?
Oh, I got all kinds of information. I got information about the people. I got information about like
Not
shots and
expecting
stuff.
this voice.
Well, most people expect my voice to be really, really like high pitched, like I'm some sort of girly gnome or something.
Well, that's kind of what my voice sounds like.
You're right. Your voice is what people expect my voice to sound like. They don't take into account the fact that guys with wide jaws like this, because I'm a minotaur. Guys with wide jaws usually have deeper voices, But it makes sense for you because you're a little guy.
You're killing.
I'm glad you like this.
You really took the whole mafia thing to the next level.
Sometimes my voice is just kind of, I stumble into the ones for the characters.
That was great, Greg. That was great. Thank you.
So,
You just broke him down from
and
the
he's done.
start.
He's like, my game's fine.
Your game is fun. It's like the best D&D ever.
I appreciate you saying that. And now I just have to figure out how to multiply these so more people can have fun games like this. All right. So with that,
Greg clones.
So tell us about the people in the area. What do we need to prepare for? Do we need to watch our backs, or what's
these
going on?
guys,
What kind of people are we got?
they're rough and tumble, but not in a bad way. Like if you're nice to them, if you give respect, you'll get respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean there.
Don't you dare.
Well, good. Yeah, you give respect, you get respect here, and as long as you aren't causing trouble, the only people who cause trouble are ones who come in and try and like let others know who shouldn't know about us, right? Or threaten that kind of thing. Don't threaten anyone here. You don't know who you're talking about. Some of these guys are retired from really tough stuff.
Good.
And just because they're small like me doesn't mean they don't pack a punch. And sometimes that punch is not physical. You know what I mean? We got a lot of different kind of guys here.
I like to hear that. So
I'm paying attention. I just want to know. It's just if
You have a bad habit of threatening people.
only the people who touch my stuff.
Well, yeah, most people, we don't touch, we have strict rules about not touching other people's stuff. Or their junk for that matter. Or things and whatnot. All that.
That makes sense.
I think it's a good thing that we're not going to try and anger anybody because as soon as you said there's some real rough and tumble guys here, my brain immediately went, I swear to God, if there are Marines, if there are retired D&D Marines in this code, we are done for.
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I mean, or worse, morally ambiguous SEAL Team 6. That would be the biggest danger.
That'd
Yeah.
be terrifying.
Yeah. I think Jocko without a moral compass. If you know who Jocko is.
No.
That would be bad. That would be a problem. Yeah.
Batman without a moral compass.
And that's more. No, he does that. A little bit.
He'll break
it's
your back.
complicated with Batman. I think they are newest, most recently. All right. Well, so I can tell you about this place around here, but what you guys need to know? Like, it looks like you just in from the cold, and now I can tell you we got all kinds of characters over here, and if you look around, we got like Serena up on the cliffs there. She's nice, but if you can tell, she's got horns and wings for a reason. So you don't want to, she's got some friends in
Low places.
complicated places.
Friends on the other side.
One might say that. But she's here. It's one of those things. Like she's real nice. She's good with some things. But she's up there, kind of just doing a thing with, growing a nice little spice garden, trying to stay away from anybody that will cause trouble. And over here, go back in. There's a bit of a tavern, if you will, behind us. And you can see and he points back behind you. There's this two-headed troll. 9-foot tall troll that, like I said, they were all scattered around. So, and he seems to be he kind of steps out of this building built into kind of the cavern.
This thing?
Yeah, and you can, when he opens the door, he kind of comes in, or you can hear kind of people, being loud and boisterous. And when he opens the door, the music kind of comes through. It has the sound of like, actually maybe that's a better description than the cantina. It's like nowhere in the Guardians of the Galaxy, like after the, so if you think of like the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special,
Yeah.
it's closer to that kind of thing.
So it kind of becomes like so this whole area is kind of like this. Okay, yeah, I can't describe it, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. So the type of music is like their Christmas special band, where it's like, Christmas time is here, like those guys, where they have almost like a Smashing Pumpkins, but happy and a good kind of thing. If that makes any sense. So that's so this two-headed troll steps out of this door. You hear the music, and he's like goes up to a wall where there seem to be like different types of mosses and things, and he kind of scoops some off and like puts it on a plate and then walks back in. But it's like a 9-foot tall troll that just shows up like 15 feet behind you.
Who's it? What is he feeding? Wait, is he feeding veggie pygmies?
Well, there's all kinds of nutrients, And what's really cool about this cave is like strange things grow in here. I don't know how we found this place, but like he's got like 8 different types of gourmet moss over there. He cultivates it. It's his therapy. You know what I mean? It's how he deals with his traumas and whatnot.
I never thought I would hear the words gourmet moss in my life, but alright.
Well, I never
Did you
thought
suddenly
I'd see
develop
someone
an
like you and not kill you right away, but here you are, a cat in front of me, not skinned alive. It's amazing.
Richter just has a little bit of an eye and tail twitch, just like
That's cool.
You're moving weird.
he doesn't respond, but he just has that that little angry tail twitch, just like a little.
Pancakes is just gonna look at you and go, "Why are you moving here?"
So he's introduced you to 2 people in here, and that was to like, what do you know? So he's like, I know all kinds of stuff.
Is the skeleton guy up here actually a skeleton?
There is actually an oversized skeleton. It looks like almost like an undead Goliath set of bones that is moving. That's kind of shambling around over here.
Looks like it's walking in a circle because the other leg looks like it's stuck in concrete.
Well, those are other skulls, but we're gonna ignore that for the sake of this. You look over, and if you're looking over, actually, let me see if he notices that you look over at that guy. Yeah, he does. Unless you're trying to hide that you're looking around and okay, it's like, oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy's Twigs. He's actually. So we call him Twigs. He's over there. He's working on a project to set up a little more controlled flow of that fresh water. So you see he's like going in and out, and you can see like the skeleton every now and then will like step off the shore and like walk down some rocks and go completely underwater. And he's like 9 feet tall, or 8 feet tall. He's a Goliath. And so he's just this bone guy. And every now and then he'll pick up a rock and he'll like walk down what appear to be steps into the water. And go under the waterfall, and then he'll come back up. And so he's kind of doing some sort of construction project over there.
You might be able to
should
help
have
that.
you should have named him Sir Calci.
Sir Calci, like calcium.
Yes.
That's an idea. Well, You just know he's called Twix. That doesn't mean his real name isn't something like
Bones.
Yeah.
CC for calcium. I don't know.
Anyway,
Anywho, and stuff. So,
so I'm just gonna ask you directly. What do you know about the traffic?
well, it's one of those things. You got guys. If you got people, you always got somebody trying to do something wrong like that. It's tough. It's a tough place to. There's a business for them. That's a problem.
So how do we stop this?
Well,
What do we need to do here?
Or who do we need to see?
Correct.
Well, if you're talking strategy, I'm just saying, I'm not saying me, but I'm saying I know a guy that if you need to stop something like this, you really got to think of it like you got to take out whatever patriarchs at the top, the head of the family. I'm not saying I know anything about it, but I can say I know a guy, You can't, if you could work up through a series, maybe there's a series of a series of generals or head guys over squads or whatever structure they use. There's somebody at the top. The challenge is that when you take out somebody at the top, that creates a power vacuum. You got to be careful about power vacuums. That's how I got out. I know a guy who created a power vacuum, and in the turmoil, people thought he died. You know what I'm saying? And because they thought he died, he was able to, swim with the fishes as far as everyone else was concerned. And then he really did go for a swim with the fishes. There's some nice mermaids under the sea. I'm just saying, if you hadn't met a mermaid, some of them, they're merfolks, real nice people. Good folks, good people.
Big head means big lips.
It's okay. You want to
So,
say something? Keep
Is
it
this like the head of the Tortellini family?
We are all in like a group thing here. It sounds like you want to do what you can to stop this sort of thing. So do we. You don't have to put yourself in danger. We're a pretty safe bunch.
Informants are always.
What you gotta do to stop something like this is what I'm saying. It's like, if you take out a head, you create turmoil and chaos, but that doesn't necessarily stop the industry. What you gotta do is figure out some sort of alternate to replace it. You gotta swap the product for something else. You gotta make them now realize they're losing money.
Black market weapons.
Stuff to think of it. You gotta think strategy. Strategies, number one, is how you stay alive.
What we could do is maybe we could try to find a way to hit the market in general.
So,
Instead of finding the people who are doing this, we can find the people who are buying it.
so
Because
what?
if
Just
they
like
don't have customers, they'll stop. They'll stop, maybe even be turned into the authorities because they can no longer afford to keep buying new equipment and keep upholding this sort of thing. And it means we've exposed the greater group.
But then we
So does
might
this
run
mean that
into
we're staging
even worse
raids now?
things than aliens.
So what does that mean that we're gonna try and stage police raids even though we're not police? We have no training in this.
What'd you say?
And we might run into worse things than aliens. We got lucky with some shots at that guy.
That's true.
It might not happen
Here's
again.
my concern. There's only 4 of us. We need a bigger group of people. We need an
Well,
army.
we do have the Gator Boys, and we have.
It's only 3.
We also have the Griffin and the King.
We need to build an army of folks, people who can join us in this mission to eradicate and stop the trafficking.
I'm sure.
It also
For
means
especially as widespread as it is, we need to be able to infiltrate this particular organization and take it down slowly from the inside.
so.
Well, let's see. So
Say you knew who were the main people buying these sorts of services. How would you tell us that information?
First of all, is it the Tortellini family that we need to go after?
Hypothetically.
Total. I like that actually.
that's actually pretty good. I have to give him. I have to give him that.
I
A little
am
lenient.
tempted. What'd you say?
Give in to
Say
temptation.
you knew who the main buyers were of these sorts of things. Hypothetically, how would you get that information to us?
Well, see, I wouldn't know. I know a guy who's been out of the game for a long time, but that doesn't mean that, and so it changes so fast. But you guys, I hear you talking a lot of different strategies. you got the force strategy. A lot of guys try and come in, clean up like it's war, right? And then once you clean up, that you still got people willing to buy and sell, and they find a way. So you gotta have that's an option. But then I hear you also saying like you could go in slow and steady and take it down from the inside. Now that takes someone with some solid moral fortitude, willing to do some things that other people might not want to do. It's dangerous. It's tough.
Or someone who
Why,
can
why would you
cast
pat my
illusion.
back? I'm not that morally ambiguous.
Well, it depends on if you're trying to stop it once. Stop it for good. You're trying to stop it for good. You got to transform hearts, you know, or transform the market. You got to have transformation in a culture. Now, that's a big picture strategy. That's not just military. It's not about control. It's about changing what people see and perceive in the lives that they live.
Besides, military is too fragile.
At least that's
anyways.
what I heard from a guy. No.
So my question to you is why has no one ever done anything to try and stop this?
So
Why?
Because everything in it's too big, it's too profitable, it's too useful.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not that people haven't stopped. I'm saying if you dependent on your goals, you want to stop it for a little bit. You can't.
No,
You can
we wanna stop it.
disrupt, but disruptors only last for so long.
We need to change the hearts and minds of people.
I think here's the main problem. As you said, it's too useful. It's too valuable to be able to get something that's able to do all the same things as a person. How well would you be able to replicate something like Manigear?
Not possible.
Not possible.
It would take millions, thousands, millions of artificers if they wanted to even try to create something like that. Besides, it needs to have an established owner, the parts are expensive. It's just a whole lot. I mean, you saw how long it took me to make mana gear. It took me nearly a month, and I nearly lost a few dims along the way.
He just become.
I'm just saying, if we were to
He
be,
uses his voice from time to time.
maybe
Yeah.
we could be able to try and
Your accent comes and goes.
It's better to practice than have
It's
it.
like this. Do you know how hard it is to do an accent for a place you've never been to?
it could be a solution to replace the product, not the people on either end. Because there's always going to be the market of basically for these people, it's automation. We could look into the kinds of things that they use the people for, what they're automating, and figure out a way to automate that and
So
sell it cheaper.
once all of you make a history check. Let's see how much you know of this world's history.
All of us?
Everybody can make a history check.
What's a history check?
Just history
Basic.
bonus, D20 plus history.
That
or
looks
just your
like an
history.
11.
So you're telling me you
plus.
took the green dice, but you're gonna use the. Never mind.
Looks like a 12.
I'm trying to find my history so I can roll my dice.
It's
Plus
just
3.
I will say these bullet dice are hard to read. I don't know which one's facing up.
It's
I
an
think
11. 11.
So total, Lily, what'd you have?
8.
What'd you have?
12.
15.
18.
Okay. So as you guys are talking about it, like your brain starts going through, like, do I know anything about history where there were major changes? And with the 12, you're like, there was something a while ago that, that like in your family with the 12, there was a time when you had an uncle who wanted the family to stop stealing from a certain group because he was worried that if they kept doing that, that group would come and basically wipe it out, that it would be retaliatory. And so you remember that this time your uncle did a thing, and he basically he gave your family someone. He's like, hey, you heard years later that he did this, and he said, like, he kind of told you over a meal. But he basically said, yeah, I had to get us to go. That those people were going to kill us, and so I basically gave the family a new village to target, and we moved closer to it. I made people think it was that they had cooler stuff. They didn't, but I made them believe it. So you remember this story from your past. With an 18, Hemo's a little more aware of larger social stuff, partially because of his religious background. And so Hemo, you remember there was a movement to try and decrease the number of pirates in the 50 years ago, 100 years ago maybe. And you remember hearing like from town criers and stuff while you were still an acolyte that that there were people who were flying neutral flags in a politically complex area, and that would be their way of trafficking goods at sea around tariffs, because they would fly neutral flags, and so they wouldn't get involved in the war. One of the groups realized that there were some sort of scheme going on, and politically, a religious group got involved and convinced some politicians that if they started getting more people to do the neutral flag, they could change the law, because it would no longer be effective, and then they could just capture all the neutral flags. So with an 18, it's a really hazy set of details, but it's one of those things where they basically looked at the situation and said, someone's being sneaky over here. If you change the law so that you can deal with that sneakiness in a way that no one knows, suddenly you'll succeed at something from a roundabout way.
Okay.
So. Well, the other two of you, like, can't think of anything right now.
It seems like we could try to replace the product with something maybe not necessarily better, but an alternative that could be better in price. Because if they're willing to spend so much on this service, I'd imagine this costs a lot to do. If we could replace this with something cheaper that works maybe not perfectly as well, but about as well, we might be able to help them change. Even if not morally, we can still eliminate the problem. Do you, and I turn to the Minotaur guy, do you know what or do you know a guy who knows what the trafficking is being used for? What are they trying to achieve?
He's speaking to
Because manpower is only one thing. What are they using manpower for?
Well, it's a good question. You'd have to get in each, an area might have a very specific need. Sometimes I remember there'd be groups who had a need for, maybe they create the semblance of a debtor's prison or something, and they get the guys down into a mine because they're trying to mine for gold. And so they get guys up on trumped up charges so that they can get more workers in the mine. Sometimes it's something like that. Other times it's worse. Other times people just want to be able to not have to cook their own meals or chop their own firewood. But that makes it a lot more complex when you get into these things. So you got to look at where you're going and what are they needing the people for.
So there's also, not only do we have criminal activity, we also have government corruption.
It's possible, and I don't know where you're looking. I don't know. It can be different in different cities or in different regions. And like I said, the guy I know has been out of the game for a long time, and so it'd be hard to say what the current reasons for things like that might be. But crime's crime. It's gonna be everywhere. If you're gonna address it, you either gotta transform hearts or transform bigger picture systems. If you want to get rid of it. It's this big picture stuff, guys. Are you sure you want to get into this? Like, you gotta,
I don't think it's a matter of want, more of a matter of need. It's the morally right thing to do.
We've started this journey, we're not going to stop. Therefore, we need to figure out a way to come up with some type of a strategy to, one, get inside, and while inside, figure out what we can do to change hearts and change minds without using violence as a tool, as we know that violence may not be the end all or say all, and it's only temporary.
Here's what I'll say then. You want a strategy? Here's what you do. Here's Tommy's foolproof plan, right? I just realized his name's like Tommy, which is hilarious. That was not intentional. Tommy. So here's the foolproof plan, right? Step one, you go in quiet and you get information. You got to figure out the why. Get that information. Then you got to find friends who can start getting ideas into people's head indirectly.
That way it doesn't come back on you. That's a safe way to do it, right? You always got to keep in mind your safety. If you can get other people and have layers between you and the action, that's great. So first, you get in, you get information. Second, you make friends. Friends that can act as a step or a shield or a block between, so that nobody can track it back to you. And you, people who talk a lot, people who have influence, that kind of thing. And then you start giving them the ideas you want them. You start feeding it into a couple different places. That's the big picture, right? That's my 3-step strategy if you want an idea. If you go in with military, you gotta wipe out everyone, because it only takes one. I seen this. You see this with rats, right? You ever see a family of rats? They go crazy. You get a family.
Not the same thing.
No, rats are the ones with tails and fur, not tails and scales. But you get this. You get a family of rats. You start taking them out. You take all of them but one, and that one guy, that one little baby rat, he remembers in his soul. It's like he knows who killed his father. He's big father. So you got to be careful. If you're gonna take them out, if you're gonna be all militaristic, you got to take them out to every single one, clean slate, scary stuff. But if you want to go in and do long-term change without killing everybody, well, that's harder. But because you got to be subtle about it, you got to protect yourself. Remember, always protect yourself, because you can't do the work if you're dead.
So what we need to know then is, how do we get in? How do we get in? That is the big thing that we need to know. How do we get in?
We hire rogues.
Well, I'm not exactly a people person, so I don't know if
Other
I'd be the
rogues.
one to say, like, look, I'm a strategy
What is
guy.
stealthing?
I let other people do the talking, you know what I'm saying?
Sounds
No. I was
mean,
saying
I do a
other
lot of
rogues
talking,
isn't
but
everybody
that's
other
not-
than
you know what I mean.
talking about you.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. Oh, I got you. Oh, slappy.
We need more tiny people, not dwarves, though. They're too thick.
Hold on.
We do
hold on.
know people in several different towns.
He makes a good point. We do need more rogues. I happen to have some familial connections.
Oh no.
Entertainers, anybody who can get it, either, well, rogues would help with infiltration, but someone who entertains, they get ideas out. You get someone who's a songwriter, some sort of public figure, someone with a little money, power, or influence with their voice. I mean, hey, you got a lot of options.
It's time to find a bard.
There you go.
That or a local religious leader could do something, they're speaking to the congregation. Think about people who have platforms, influence.
Me too. No, I'm kidding.
I should probably have fully fleshed out my backstory, because then we could have possibly used my old home city as a place to start, but
Well, we're not in a Modron culture yet.
well, no,
Would
no, it's not so.
Oh, let him speak.
It's not so much as have you seen the show Arcane at all?
No, it's on my list, I think. Well, bottom line is, if you want to flesh out your backstory, you can give it to me and I can make some of it work.
Well, the one way I can kind of explain what the city is like, it's kind of like, I'm pretty sure even just an image will help, but it's kind of like Piltover from Arcane.
Just check the time.
Yeah, we're good. We got time.
Yeah, we got about an hour.
Yeah. All right, Evan, what were you gonna say?
So, what is the max capacity of our ship in terms of how many kobolds we can probably fit?
I mean, they're small.
We just shove them into every little.
I think are kobolds small size?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kobolds are small. It can either be small or medium, but they're usually
Yeah,
small.
they're usually 3 foot small.
Yeah, so we happen to have quite the extensive network.
The network of kobolds. They're terrifying. They're short but terrifying. And they all have food for names. Bring me the pancakes. We open up the lid. It's just pancakes and with knives.
Need knives.
Fine. He's just sitting in there with his revolvers. Like,
So he asks about the question to you guys about the ship, like how many kobolds can we fit? Nora and Hemo, do you have thoughts on that?
15.
20.
I'll admit I'm probably one of the more unruly of the bunch. It's a bit of a mix. I'm a bit in the middle. I know which ones would probably be the best for the mission.
We're getting very reptilian in this party, aren't
Not yet.
Well, no, no. I mean, we've got him, Nora, and three Gator
Oh,
Boys.
valid point. Valid.
I mean, like,
The only non-reptilians is me, Dad, and Hakeem.
I know it started out with a bunch of furry
I'm a
people.
hypocrite.
I mean, if I know my family, you can probably just
No, it's
promise
fine.
them
It's fine.
whatever we find along the way, any profit, whatever, make it somewhat worth their while, and that and a little entertainment
How much
will
gold do
be
we
all
have?
they need.
We also know people
'Cause we-
in like
We
tons
can
of
live
different
off the land
towns.
pretty well. Gold and all that, it's just a bonus.
We also know people in several different towns, like the town where we killed
2,870 pieces of gold.
Sounds like a big enough budget.
Nora, what was the last thing you said?
Talking about one of the villages.
I was
think.
saying we know lots of people, like the town with the Oni that we slayed there. And then there's also the Vegapygmies, and there's also the trading marketplace, and then there's also the place with the
The outcast
different
village.
beast creatures that are like the farmers and stuff.
Yeah, the outcast.
Yeah, they could be very helpful in like spreading the word and like helping and finding people.
Well, let's see. So the merchant marketplace we could just use as either a shopping center for all the things we're gonna need, or we can also use that to send out connections. Cause merchants, they move. They have to. It's good for business. So, and then the city that we found with the Oni, like she said, we could probably ask for their help with any like protection or militaristic goals that we might, like any militaristic movements that we might need to do. We could probably ask their help from. And then the outcasts and veggie pygmies, I guess. I don't know, like maybe extra support, I guess, for like they could spread the word to other people, like the different races that people usually would regard as bad. They could spread the word to those people as well.
I think the reason my family would be a good idea is because you give them basically anything, they'll help. And also, if you wanted to get any like weapons or tools or anything, give them the designs for it, give them the resources and a little time, they'll make way more than you can in a day.
They sound like Zombites.
What?
Sorry, arcane reference.
Describe them without using the term.
We're a crafty bunch.
Yeah, that essentially. Just a group of people who have nothing, yet if you give them anything, literally anything, they can make literally anything.
Not that they have nothing, it's more like they're just generally pretty happy with what they got. They're
But,
content. They're content in the little area.
Good.
I need to stand up.
So, you guys are having this conversation. Anybody else have anything else to add to it? Before Big B comes back?
Big B.
We
Hey,
could,
yo, Big B. Oh, wait, we should probably move him away.
we could find an entertainer and have them stay in the market
Wait a
place
minute.
that we got like the arrows and supplies and stuff, since that seems like a consistent place for people to go. Multiple people would be in and out of that place, and then that person can just stay and get consistent customers.
We should try and find the troop of Circus X that came to the in that one time.
Well,
Didn't
there
they
is
say
also the problem.
wait? Did they say something about a favor? I don't remember.
They said they were gonna. They liked the inn. They would promote it around everywhere. I think because you guys had such a good. They're kind of helping you build a reputation for the Shambling Shamrock. That's for sure.
Respect.
They were heading north to a coastal city, so they might be heading in the right direction.
Oh,
There's also the problem of if we were to try to find like an outside group, we don't know who is actually like with us on this, because these people have to lead somewhat normal lives outside of their otherwise problematic jobs. I think my family would be a good call for this because, small, we can fit quite a few of them on the boat. We're decently crafty. We know what we're doing in most scenarios. This isn't our first rodeo with similar things. And we're not going to do things that are like... Generally, we don't pillage unless we need to. We don't take more than people...
we don't do anything we don't need to do usually. No need to start like a cycle of hate. And we give back what we can, even if people don't end up noticing. It's not our fault. Random garden pops up out of the middle of nowhere.
Seems like a minor.
We take money, we use that to get whatever we need, and then we just start doing stuff with the local area.
We're not gonna steal though to get them.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're not.
If you tell them they can't steal, they'll stay. If you give them a job, they'll stay focused.
And then you hear a loud clopping of footsteps as where'd he go?
Also, we don't really work with others outside the family a whole lot, so it's unlikely that they're going to be with
He
any
jumped down
enemy
the stairs.
groups.
I was trying to say, does he have like?
He's a Goliath. He's like, you hear him kind of stomping down. Hey, good job keeping him company for a bit there, Tommy. Hopefully you gave him some meaningful information. If you guys want to come up here, I think I got someone who can help with that information you needed.
All right, let's
Great.
go.
I think I got a new dice roller for you.
I saw that.
Roll your d20.
That's so
That's
I
great.
like that a lot.
Wait, hold on. Let me just. 15.
I'm going to start following him.
We used to do this too, man. This is fun.
So awesome.
That is really
It's just
cool.
an automatic
I
dice
like it.
roller.
Let's mix it up. Get some random numbers.
It's genuinely fun.
Back to the task at hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow me.
So he'll lead you up.
Let's go.
So he'll lead you up
Okay.
to
Where are we going?
he's gonna lead you up to a small hut. This place right here.
Okey-doke.
Is like
I was actually going to ask about that.
Really?
About this. I was just.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I only noticed it because I'm right here. If I was anywhere else, I would not have noticed.
what are you gonna ask about?
What it is.
So he takes you to it takes you over to a small hut. And it has a little bit more of he kind of has the meal like kind of scooped down underneath. It's got a smaller door than some of the other places, and he doesn't quite fit. But he's it's clear he's familiar with this place and has kind of come in and out before. He's like, come with me. I'll introduce you to someone here. They don't want me to tell you. They're not one for sharing their name. But
Any aliases?
that either. So I'll just say this person's got some information.
Okay.
That's so
You dare roll a bad
And
roll.
so, the door is only about 5.5 feet high. It is a smaller hut. As you kind of step inside, you notice that these huts,
Door's a little tall.
that as you step through the door, it's almost like Funhouse. You step through, and now it's a larger room.
Oh, it's big on the inside.
Yes. So you step in, and the room's actually like he stands up, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And so from the outside, you couldn't tell, but once you kind of step through, there's a bit of a popping sound as each of you kind of go through this door. And then you step into a well-lit, almost like well-lit dining room that's got about 20, 25-foot ceilings with sconces on the side that have little globes of magical light in them.
Who are they hosting? Dragons?
We pulled them off. They pulled
Yeah.
them off the tree.
Catch them all.
Hmm?
Huh?
What?
Gotta catch them all.
Wrong campaign.
I know.
This is not Pokemon.
Or is it?
It better not
Meanwhile,
be.
a small yellow creature with pointy ears and a lightning bolt for a tail.
You better not bring Pikachu into this.
I wasn't gonna, but now you make me want to. I was gonna go Squirtle though.
No, Pikachu is a good person.
I think
Not today.
we're gonna lean into Squirtle
There
a
better
little
not
bit.
There better not be a human child behind.
You see a 4-foot tall upright turtle with whose shell seems to have grown the way fingernails grow. The shell has grown down into long robes of like fingernail-like material. If you've ever seen one those people who have like excessively long, like 2-foot long fingernails? But like the turtle shell is like turned into a rope,
Nasty.
and the shell has carvings, arcane symbols all over it and all around, and down these cartilage or bone-like structures that is its kind of shell/rope.
If I touch the wrong one, will he explode?
You're certainly welcome to try.
I'm not going to. I don't want to die either.
Oh, we don't need a Terminator.
So,
No, it's just a land.
welcome to my dining
Wow.
hall. I hear you're looking for information of unfamiliar variety, or uncommon variety, potentially dangerous information.
Almost definitely dangerous, yeah.
Not almost. Definitely.
While Big B here vouches for you, I'm remiss to offer information before seeing how you all operate. Is it going too slow for you?
The ADHD in my brain is like, oh my gosh, why is this old man so old?
I was right to take my pill today.
Why, in the words of Despicable Me group, why are you so old?
No, you're
so old.
elongate the
Yeah,
way.
he's why are you so old?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I said dart guns, not for all.
Anyways.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, with that,
I said dart gun, not fart gun.
everybody make a wisdom saving throw,
Oh no.
unless you choose to
Is that a 20 or no?
a d20. You can also choose to ignore it, like
That's
intentionally
just gone.
So
That
what's
was a
the-
4.
What's the roll for?
I got a 4.
He seems to be trying to do something with your mind.
I think not. Let me roll for it.
I got 15.
Okay.
I got a
Shambling.
16 total.
Okay.
That's a dirty 20.
And then Evan, what was yours?
4.
Okay.
My first official roll with the dice spinner roll. And got a
Okay.
dirty 20.
So nobody passes the wisdom save.
I'm sorry, what?
I think a
How
20
high did you
succeeds.
put this?
Higher
Probably-
than 20.
That's deeply concerning.
Yeah, Greg, that's a
Not
little
out of the
scary.
realm of possibilities. He's an old. How long
I
do
got
turtles
an
live?
unnatural
Couple
25.
hundred years.
Yeah, I think the
He's
longest.
an old turtle that has arcane symbols on him. Do you expect him to have a save of like 13?
No, it's making like a save of at least
So,
something reachable.
With that,
I
you
have a
all.
roll.
So, nobody passes the wisdom save. And you all are. You find yourselves in rooms, isolated. You can't hear or see any of your companions. And the rooms are all cylindrical. And the decoration is something that would remind you of the past for your character. What would your individual character, like if you think your character's childhood, what is
So it's
a
just
memorable scene or room? Think about what that would be for your character. What is a meaningful memory?
Probably like a spruced up
setting.
cave kind of thing.
Okay. So describe it. Give us a couple of sentences or a paragraph of describing for us. What do we see?
I never thought this far ahead in my character's backstory, but it's kind of like a spruced up cave little area. You said it's a small cylindrical room.
It's going to be a cylinder, yeah, about 20, no bigger than 20-foot diameter.
Okay. Is it just decorated to look like it, or
You are. It's a.
or is it like a
The
sliver?
space transforms to match the space that would be most resonant from your childhood. So if you're saying, so there's no doors, but it's like you're in a cave that it has those dimensions. So what would that look like?
Probably just a cave with like some paintings, kind of like
not hung on rocks, but like kind of leaned up against the wall on small rock like pedestals almost.
Okay. What kind of material are they made out of, the paintings?
General like canvas paintings.
Okay. Like
Part of
like
the
wood framed or like canvas on something? Or...
depends on the painting.
Okay. So if it's from your childhood, so you've got
It's kind of a mix.
okay. So you
And then
like things that your family would have stolen from other people?
no, more of like again we don't take more than we need, and we don't take things that will impact anyone.
Okay, so
So it's like basically if we were to steal like an old painting that no one ever used anymore,
okay.
basically we'll steal from places no one goes.
Okay, I've got that in my mind now. Micah, what's your character's room look like?
And they're painted over to be my family.
Oh, okay, so it's like you painted on top of the painting?
Not me, someone else.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's kind of like the inside of. It's like if somebody combined like a steampunk laboratory with a forge room. Kind of got like that, like a big old flame over on one side, with all these tools and machinations over on another.
Okay.
That's
And-
awesome.
And a
Kind
big,
of like and half pieces of like half-built droid type things on
Yeah.
Okay.
kind of like either like weapons, robots, anything like.
So Anakin's room. Okay, when he's a kid, or yeah, when he's a
Essentially.
kid. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. What kind of setting would Hemo's room look like?
Think of your childhood. I know it's been 150 years, but think of your
Is Hemo 115 years
He's
old?
an elf.
He's an elf.
He's an elf, yeah.
childhood. So he's barely even.
It would have like
Dang.
wilderness and trees,
Think deep.
kind of like that type of an environment.
Could it be inside, like a hollowed out
Yeah,
tree?
it's like a hollowed out
Inside of a hollowed out tree. What else would be there?
some books,
Okay.
some medicines and potions.
Okay.
Um,
Is it more like a
healing,
Okay.
healing, yeah, medicines and healing potions.
Okay.
A few different.
Any religious iconography? or
Yes,
anything?
there, of course, there would be a Bible, weaponry, my weapons, where I would put my weapons in my suit of armor.
Wait, isn't your armor right now just chainmail?
Yeah, but I gotta get naked every now and then.
Well, no.
And it's as a kid. So.
Well, no. I'm just saying because chainmail is literally just like, there's like just like a chain shirt with leggings. Essentially, there's no like armor plates over it.
Still takes work to put on.
Yeah, I know
But
that.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Nora, what would Nora's childhood room look like? What would it be made of, atmosphere-wise? Jerry?
Like a very, very mismatchy kind of tree house made of like twigs and mud,
Okay.
I would think. Because she's an outlander.
Oh, that's right. Cool. All right.
How much of your character did you base on Moon?
On what?
On who?
Moonwater?
Pretty much only her eyes. But yes, she does happen to be like.
Okay, everybody roll a d4.
I'm scared.
If you aren't feeling in the game, I'm not doing a good job.
Two.
You should feel things. Okay?
I'm not good at
Three.
feeling things.
It's good for us to practice feeling things, Micah. It's what makes us human and not robots.
Is my D4 over there?
You're supposed to take them. Oh wait, what do you know? It
Do you
isn't
need a
there.
D4? That's what I thought. Thank you.
We're not using the death fort.
It's not.
2.
Okay.
Say-
Did you roll?
No.
You haven't seen Jacob's D4. That thing's terrifying.
That's a 2.
Okay. So Nora gets pulled in to the fantasy first, or comes to awareness of it first. So Nora, as you're sitting in this treehouse, is this a place that is connected to a good memory or a bad memory of your childhood?
Wouldn't you say you wanted it? We wanted it to describe like a monumental.
Yeah, but I didn't say good or bad. So now,
Fair.
now
I
it's more.
think both.
Okay.
Because it's the treehouse was kind of like a place where she could quietly practice her faith, and then it's also a place where she feels lonely.
Okay. Well, as you are in this place, and you're kind of in the, you have the mindset of Nora now, but the memories of Nora, but this is something that you have the feelings of Nora then. And so as you're kind of looking around, popping up in kind of the windows of the treehouse will be 3 oversized squirrels. They kind of, their heads stick up almost like prairie dogs in each of the windows. Hey, what are you doing in there? Hey, you coming out? What are you doing? What are you in here?
Somebody is confused by this.
It's her character's mind.
So is it like
So
when
you
my
don't know what's
character's a kid or my character's
It would be a
present self?
place. It's a place you grew up with, but now there are other things that are being added to it. So you have your memories, but the nostalgia and feel of like good and bad as a kid. So this is a place familiar from your childhood, and these squirrels you don't know. Like these are new. But this place is familiar. So as you look, these squirrels pop up, and 3 squirrels, oversized squirrels, like the size, like 3-foot tall squirrels. Like their heads
The size
pop.
of pancakes.
Yes.
Pancake squirrel.
And their heads kind of pop over the window and go, hey, what are you doing? Why are you just in there?
What are you doing?
Squirrel.
I just got here, apparently.
Hey guys, how was everything today?
Good.
Very good. Thank
Need
you.
anything else?
No.
Just our build.
That's fine. Boy, this game has changed over the years, hasn't it?
There's all different ways you can play it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank you for allowing us to play it
No
here.
worries,
I
guys.
appreciate it.
So this is one of our private campaigns, but I play a variety of different ones. I run the club at Shamrock Community College, so we'll have 5 tables going on for that. But yeah, there's all different ways you can play it. So
Yeah.
sometimes we have maps, sometimes we don't.
It happens. You guys want to do this like on a weekly basis or something like that, let me know.
Okay.
We can arrange like a time that I don't have any groups in here.
Okay.
And you guys can make it a day if that's something you might be interested in.
That's good to know.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're right
We
now
give
we're
you a
going 2 to
call.
4.
It's like once a month,
Yeah,
like right
yeah.
now.
For this group, it's like
No,
every
it's
2 to
fine.
4 weeks. But yeah.
Yeah, but it would be, I'd give you guys room for a couple hours during the day, and
Cool.
then, the only caveat is everybody order, that's it.
Well, that's not a problem.
Food's
great.
It's amazing.
Ordering is not a
That's all I
problem.
ask.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll
Thank
keep
you.
This
this
is mine.
unregulated to Clash of Clans, it's about the best I do.
Oh,
Oh, Clash of
I
Clans is fun.
Yeah, we.
No, I used to be number 1, 4, 8, and 12 in the world when the game first started.
Oh, wow.
And I still talk to Georgie, yeah.
That's cool.
And Clayton. Clayton actually has 3 of my accounts, so he still plays there.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let me know if you need anything else.
All right, we'll do.
Appreciate it.
I don't know why he thought ordering was gonna be a problem. Food is never
Because
been bad.
because some people come and sit and don't order anything
Yeah.
but drinks, and that's a waste of it. That the
Yeah.
server gets nothing.
Yeah.
It's a waste of space, and we're actually occupying space for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
We better be ordering some food.
But that's cool if he's saying like if we order, that means like we could have like if there's space for it, like if it's a quieter time, an entire table for the game or a
We can fit all
Warhammer
back
game
there.
or something like that where like that's good. Like,
We can sit down, order, eat our food, and then we can
Yeah.
continue on with the game.
yeah, that's really nice.
Because we're still
Eat
providing.
here, play there.
Yeah.
Because then we're still doing what like a restaurant is for. We're still asking for the service that is required.
Yeah, and those sort of community partnerships can be really meaningful.
That's awesome.
Okay,
We're
so
building allies within and without D&D.
I would say in about 20 minutes we should wrap it up because
Yeah.
we close at 2 o'clock.
well, let's see if we
So-
can give you each a couple minutes inside your room and see if you can get
Yep.
through whatever this is. So Nora, 3 squirrels pop up and say, "What are you doing? Squirrel, what are you doing? What are you gonna be doing later? Can I come? Can we come? What do you got? What do you got going on?" She's not saying anything. Why didn't she say anything? really
Sorry,
curious.
this isn't your treehouse.
Is she speaking? I can't tell. She looks like she's thinking. No, she has to poop. They're squirrels. Don't judge me.
I am gonna judge you.
My
You're squirrels.
gosh.
I feel like if she wanted to talk, she'd have to like talk over us. Maybe we should stop talking. Yeah, we should stop talking.
I do prefer one question at a time.
Okay, what are you doing?
Sitting here because I just got here.
Here, let me-
Apparently.
All right, well, I guess we can just let you sit there. But so I feel like, I don't know if you know this, but if you look out the window, you might want to move soon. So okay, sit there. Meanwhile,
I'm sorry. What?
Bulldozer.
it's a very Ferngully moment. No.
Wait. So is
old-
Tree about to get dinosaur?
We don't know.
The dragon's gonna get dinosaur.
Going to the cave with paintings. You look around, and there are aged paintings that have your ancestors and family members, right? You said
Yeah,
on canvas that was old and seemed like it was maybe not so valuable.
I should probably mention there might be a few like beds, that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, as you look around, the paintings have some of, like, one of them is like a painting of your grandfather next to an old dude that looks human, and it's almost like this is the grandfather painting. And there are a couple other ones, but nothing's weird about them. These two, like, both of them start talking to you. The faces in the painting. So you see a human grandfatherly figure, and then your kobold grandfather when he had, like, his scales were just starting to gray and kind of fade.
What was Gandalf doing here?
And so the grandfather will look and go, well, pancakes. In a long time. You think you got your plans ready? And then the older gentleman will be like, I don't think he's ready. What kind of folk are you anyways? You take someone else's goods. I was on that wall for 100 years.
I mean, if we took you, it meant no one wanted you. So
Oh, that's not a nice thing to say. If we took him, it meant that we thought it was more valuable than the people there. That's a kobold way.
I love how he just essentially tells him, "You were useless to them. You were not here."
keep the flow of resources going.
This is what the old man's like. Well, I think my family like me very much. Thank you.
All right, Flubber.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with me now? You're just gonna leave me in this cave to rot away?
Yes.
This is more. I mean, I'm gonna get destroyed in here.
I mean, I don't know where people are right now. They would likely be taken care of normally, under normal circumstances. But I think it's more concerning the fact that you can talk, and I probably am not supposed to be in this location, which could be either a mental construct or a dark dimension. Sort of that kind of thing.
O'Grady's having a Deadpool moment.
Oh, what do you make? You just take stuff and you think because you value it more, it's gonna be better with you?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, hold on. I'm not gonna bother answering questions for a bit. I'm just gonna start poking paintings. I'm gonna go, hold on a second. I'm just gonna start poking the different paintings.
How do you poke them?
Well,
Are you trying, like, forcefully, like trying to pierce them, or trying to see what's your goal?
I'm not trying to pierce them. I think I've figured out pretty quickly this
like
place obviously isn't real.
so
Making it, well, your wisdom save, you can make a investigation check,
Okay.
but your wisdom save makes it feel real. Otherwise, you wouldn't have failed your wisdom save.
how high was the wisdom?
Wouldn't you like?
That looks like it's
I would.
Higher than 20?
7 plus 5, 12.
Wow.
7 plus 5 is what?
12.
12. Your investigation reveals that the other, like, these are all paintings. It seems like the only ones that seem to be interactive are the grandfather painting.
Interesting.
Interesting.
But the other ones, like as you're investigating them, they feel like real paint. They feel like this plate, like they feel tangible in your mind. Like as you're feeling them and looking around, like this feels
So
like
you
a
make it
real
aware.
place.
So it's aware. I'm aware that this is my mind.
No,
No.
this feels real.
Oh, so wait.
Like you failed the
That
wisdom
makes
save,
sense.
so
Because
this
if
is
this was my mind, things would be going a lot
so he
faster.
can't break his own fourth wall.
not without a successful wisdom save. If he had had a successful wisdom save, he might have Ebon awareness, but he is pancake awareness. So pancake feels like he's in a completely enclosed cave with these paintings and these grandfather and the grandfather's talking to him basically. So are you just gonna just take stuff and you don't think about how you care for it?
Well, who said we didn't care for it?
Well, if it's somewhere in here.
And one of them is just a receipt for you guys if you want it.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's you yeah, you so your family takes things from other people and you assume that you value them more, but then you leave them in damp caves and then you paint over them as if they didn't have value. What's that all about?
Cycle of resources. If we didn't take you, something else would have.
Or
At
destroyed
the
it.
very least, now we're able to preserve any memories on the canvas, if not the original ones. We may as well preserve our own. It's less of we don't respect the original intention. It's more of the original intention seems to have been lost to time, such that no one would care anymore. It doesn't matter, and it's time for a new story to be painted on top of it.
Huh. I see. Interesting. Well, he'll ask you a couple more questions, and Pancakes can have a bit of a dialogue. But we'll go to Micah.
I don't like where this is going.
Okay, so Micah, you were in your workshop. What is it? A place of joy, frustration? What do you feel like your character would be in the middle of in this workshop of sorts?
Let's see. So probably just in the middle of fulfilling a few like smithing commissions, whether that's probably he's trying to forge out a big order of weapons and crossbow bolts.
Okay, so you're making like basic weapons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like the chain sword that you let me make.
Okay. So this is just like crossbow or crossbow bolts.
Like crossbow bolts and other just like a standard weapon commission kind of.
Okay. In this room, as you're sitting there, there are half-built mechanical creatures on the wall. None of them are supposed to be working, and you're just sitting there, kind of building, kind of in the zone. Make a sleight of hand to determine how well how nimble your fingers are as you craft.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah. He said we had 20 minutes. Come on.
Yeah. 10 plus, let's see. So you said sleight of the hand, right?
Yeah.
10 plus that, so 13.
Okay. As you're crafting, it feels like you've been doing this for hours, and it's just like piece, like little mini bolt after bolt after bolt after, and it's like and when all of a sudden you hear a slight whirring from one of the machines on the wall next to you, and you see a mechanical eyeball that's part of one of these things, and that's the only part that moves. It kind of the iris goes, and then and it's kind of mechanical socket. And then you hear this voice. Seems like you're doing some nice work there. Do you like doing that? I think the best one was 3 bolts ago. Definitely. The quality is definitely better.
Can't take it seriously.
Just deactivate them.
The only way I can deactivate them is the hard way.
So it must be done.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know how
Do you
straight to
like-
do it.
So this robot is commenting on your, or this thing, automaton of sorts, is commenting on your work and asking, like, do you like doing that?
I ignore it, thinking I must be hallucinating from being bored so much.
Well, the bolts are stimulation.
It's monotonous stimulation. It's not the same.
You guys were social. I thought you guys were social creatures. I guess we can just sit here in silence then. If you like silence, we can just sit here in silence. You don't have to talk. So what do you put that tip? So does that go there? Hey, have you tried making those? You ever tried putting energy into those?
I at that point, I turn around and say, okay, whoever's pricking me, come out now, because that thing didn't work.
What are you talking about? What's a prank? I want one.
Well, I never gave her. I made her charge. I charged.
No.
You didn't like that elf reference. Continue. So, have you ever tried putting energy into one of those?
No, because it's not necessary. Why am I talking? I'm talking to myself. I need to stop.
Wouldn't it be necessary? It'd be cool. Don't you think it'd be cool? Just imagine. What would it be like?
Me dead.
No, you do it carefully, right? You could like have fire bolts coming out, or like magical energy, or like electricity, and it would go. Or like this, quiet. Oh yeah, you wanted silence. He goes quiet for about 10 or 20 minutes. While you continue working.
I thought you were about to say like seconds or something.
Yeah, there is silence, but you can hear the whirring and the iris zooming in and out every now and then and moving around.
That's a big concern.
Hemo is in. You said we said was inside a tree trunk, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and there were books, there were religious. The Bible's one of them. You said potions and healing things, right?
There's a woodpecker outside my nose.
What are you doing here? Eat the bird.
Freaking thee. Oh, go ahead.
So for you, what this is this like a who lives here? Is this a place you lived, or was someone else there?
My family lived there.
Okay. So your
I guess I'm not rolling any more dice.
I didn't say that.
Give me my dice back.
You have those.
Oh, okay, I could use those dice.
You can use either one. So as young Hemo is sitting there, what are you doing? What's your character doing in this room?
Reading a book.
Okay.
Reading the Bible.
Okay.
What?
He said nerd.
Because I was
Like,
reading
The best way to be a nerd.
He just randomly hears and need this.
Okay. As you're reading, the scenes start to come alive on the wall. As you read, like you can see the images playing like they're projected up on the wall.
Your voices in my head, and you're calling me. Go ahead.
So you watch as a great leader stands on a mountain above a large battle that's raging. And he has both of his arms up in the air, and 2 advisors stand near him, and you can tell that his arms are getting weak. And so you're seeing this like it's zoomed out, and you can see that every time his arms droop, the forces that seem to be connected to him down on the planes that he's looking down on, they seem to struggle, and like they're getting pushed back from the enemy who's attacking them. And at one point, his two advisors come and like press his arms up and get him to sit down and drink water, give him water to drink, and try and hold his arms up as he like keeps his hands out toward this battle. And the firmer that leader is, the better the battle goes.
I think I know what you're describing.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm just
Yeah,
standing.
yeah. So seeing that, like, this is the first time that's ever happened. How would Hemo respond?
I'd be kind of in awe, but also trying to figure out what the significance of that is, and what it means, and what it means to me. I would think it would probably be one of my ancestors in a battle, maybe calling to God for help and support in the current situation. And during his prayer moment, that is his time of praying and putting his hands up to God and asking for help.
Make a religion check with advantage.
Ooh, whopping 9.
Okay. The image starts to fuzz and fade as you see that the battle shifts, and you see that there are people dancing in, trying to distract the soldiers, but you get you suddenly get this zoom in closer on the three leaders standing there. There's two older gentlemen. The leader with his arms up is old, and then a younger man is one of the supports. And you can hear them talking about what they're going to do next. And the one in the middle, you can hear that two of them are, he says, keep praying. Sometimes leadership isn't about what we can do. Sometimes leadership is about trusting others to do what they can.
Reading webcomic. I'm just waiting.
It's part of the story.
I can still hear what you're saying. That's why I couldn't
So you hear this, and then it's almost like he turns to you and says, "Don't you think so?" And so Hakim will respond like this. You hear this. Sometimes leadership is not what we can do. It's about it's trusting others to do what they can.
Seeing that it was come to me, I would ask what I could do. What could I do in this moment? How can I help? What is needed of me?
We each have our own strengths and weaknesses. We have opportunities around us to our purpose and our goals. Have you considered what your strengths and opportunities are? Do you know your threats and weaknesses?
Not
That's a place to start.
Where do I look? What do I do? How do I do this?
The guy holding up one of the arms says, sometimes we have to look the people around us
I'm gonna find it, but I.
for strength. And then
That's what I've got.
we're coming back to Nora and the squirrels.
Glad you took it out.
What is
I feel like Dad's the only one that was actually like beneficial.
Well, we're cycling through. We'll get to a place in a moment, I think. So Nora's sitting in there. The squirrels have asked, what are you doing? And then have kind of commented on, like, you might need to act soon. What did Nora decide to do?
Walk out the window.
Look out or walk out?
Look out.
Look out the window. As Nora looks out the window, she can see that trees in all directions are falling. And she can feel the vibrations in her treehouse.
Guys, thank you.
Oh, here you go. Here's another one. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
She was an excellent server. Thank you.
Yes.
And as always, great food, great service.
Thank you. Spread the word. That's all I ask.
Will do. Absolutely.
guys are also easy to wait on too. It makes it a lot easier for us.
Thank you.
You guys are, you're always those so easy guys, don't worry about it. If I'm not getting you on my phone, you're good.
Okay, so with Nora looks out the window. She sees these trees, and the whole tree house is shaking every time. So what does Nora do?
Do I see what's causing the trees to fall over?
You don't. Make an investigation check. Okay, so you can't see. You can only see the repercussions of it, and the squirrels are like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are you gonna do?"
She picks up the squirrels and any other creatures she can see, and like starts like trying to like run from tree to tree away.
Keep in mind, these are like 3-foot tall squirrels.
Yes. So you go to pick them up. Make a dexterity saving throw to try and, as everything's bouncing and moving. And do it with advantage.
I don't like your dice.
You can roll this one.
Thank you.
Wow.
Much better.
I haven't used that dice. I haven't tested it, so I'll take it.
Garbage dice.
It's always the first roll of a movie.
Yes, yeah.
Works the best.
As you go to pick up you pick up two of them, and they look large, but they're actually very light. Nora, it's almost like Nora doesn't know her own strength, but and it's like because her purpose is what's giving her strength in this moment. As she scoops them up to help them, as she notices them being a little worried too. And the third one jumps on her shoulders. As you go to bounce between, like you try and run out of the treehouse, and there are branches that you remember from childhood bouncing across and running through as you try and outrun this cataclysmic felling of trees around you. And at one point you get to a place where the branch ends. And there were a couple places along the way to represent those fours where you feel yourself slip off left and slip off right. And each time, like, the squirrels will kind of bat their tails in that direction and push you back. And you get to a place where finally you're out of road, but you're already going full force. And Nora leaps. And the squirrels, you're holding on to two of them. And as you leap into the air, looking down 60, 70 feet to the forest floor, and trees are falling all around. With the tree behind you, the branch you are on, it falls. And the squirrels just start very Mario style.
Oh, I thought it would
Like the Mario thing.
You gave her three.
So
You just gave her 3 tails.
So the three squirrels, so the three oversized squirrels, their tails start spinning, and Nora feels herself lifted and gently falls and ends up, and in her mind, she kind of floats off into whatever this light is, and she can no longer hear the trees, and it's just the sound, the whirring of the squirrels and the warmth of their bodies as she holds on to them and thinks about these friends she's made, these creatures she protected without knowing who they were.
Nora has unlocked a new gear, world life.
And as you do that, you come back into the dining room, and you can see your three friends standing there with their eyes glazed over.
That didn't take long.
145.64.
So as Pancakes is there, what else would come about in this conversation, do you think? Like, how would you're in this room, the paintings are continuing to
I
ask.
think the paintings would know that I stole the revolvers.
Okay. And if they continued asking questions and commenting on your so it sounds like it's actually what you would overhear is the two grandpas talking to each other, talking about the value of like a thing. And your kobold friend is like, yeah, if you repurpose it, it doesn't matter if you change the quality. It matters that it's being used. And then the grandpa's like, but if it was a very high quality and you take it and you don't take care of it, how's that good quality? And so Pancakes would hear that happening too. As they talk, it's like, well, what else does your family take? And there's a turn to you, and the revolvers are they seem to both look at the revolvers. So why is that? So what about those? Do you think those have more value in your hands as opposed to someone else's, the original owners?
No. Well, okay. Let me give you some explanation as to this, why I have these. I did not take them because I wanted to steal them. Granted, they weren't forgotten about, like a lot of the other things we've stolen. They did belong to someone. I was watching for a long time someone who I'd grown to respect. They didn't really know I was there. They looked humanoid in nature. And I understood very little about them, but I knew this. Everyone seemed to look up to them. And whenever someone was doing something that, was obviously problematic, this person would stand up to protect the rest of them. I aspired to be like them. Then, one day, I was watching as they fought something that they weren't able to handle. And they, died in combat. I took the revolvers. I kind of came out of the shadows, took the revolvers, and finished what they had started. And I was given permission to keep them.
Who were you given permission to keep them from?
There were some people in the area. It was a small town, basically. This person, who I later learned was sort of like a sheriff, law enforcement kind of person. Everyone really respected them, and their family came out. They were in the area.
Does that count as stealing?
I think it does because initially I took them.
Was the owner dead?
I couldn't tell at the time. I just knew that he had gotten hurt.
Was the owner using these
Yes.
while you took them?
No. Basically, he was hit pretty hard, dropped them, and I took them.
It sounds like perhaps you're a thief, but an honest thief. But sometimes you think you're a thief. You're not.
I don't like to steal. I think it's an inherently wrong thing to do. But if I can repurpose something and do good with it, then the cycle of using an item for protection and betterment of everyone else is always a thing. If it's like the paintings, no one was going to use them. Whether they had value or not didn't matter, because no one would ever see that value. We gave them new value.
And as you say that, the painting and their voices, the paintings start arguing back and forth about the value of a thing and what counts as steal. It's a very philosophical discussion between two grandpas, basically. And you see the end of cave fades to a bright white, and then you come back into the room, and you see Nora looking at you, and his eyes are no longer glazed over.
So
So how do we mess with these two?
And where do we leave off for you?
I got a question. If he touches the sword, do I get to roll for a wisdom saving throw? Just snap out of it. Go like no.
Well, we'll see. But as far as it goes, where do we leave you? Where's the last place you have?
The eye
How much
finally.
of that was out
The
loud?
eye finally shut up.
Okay, so it stays quiet for a good 20 minutes, but you can hear it. Shh, shh, shh. So I know you wanted quiet, but this seems really boring. But you seem to be really good at it. Make another sleight of hand. Yeah,
I'm not touching that dice. It's already worked bad for.
that one was the good dice.
Oh wait, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, let's try this one.
16.
Yeah.
Take it.
Okay. So over the year,
Well, 16 plus 4, so I'm not funny.
so having that conversation seems to refocus you on the work as you try and ignore the whirring sound, and the creature says, "You've been going for a good long time, and it seems like your hands are really good at that. Are you sure you can't do more?" have you tried doing more than just pointy sticks?
Sorry to interject. My mom needs to know. Am I getting, or do
I was good. I can drive you over there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the idea. Yeah.
You're going with them.
I know.
Okay. So, are you sure you don't want to try and do something here? You can't keep doing the same thing over and over.
What do you suggest?
Well, I think, have you tried putting energy into it? Or like adding a little, I mean, you've got all kinds of gadgets and gizmos around here, but you're just making little pointy sticks. I think you can do more. Look at how you're doing it so well. I bet if you tried hard, you could do something really interesting.
I was thinking, hold up, maybe this could be like the background for the.
You get it too.
I used the organization.
Maybe this could be the background for how I got the clockwork amulet thing.
Maybe. So what are you going to try and do then with this encouragement this person gives you?
Let's see, what's the size of this eye?
The eye is about 18 inches
Okay, so that's
on the,
actually,
and it's kind of on the wall. It's like Modron size.
that's a really big eye.
Poke it in the eye.
No, I'm not gonna poke it in the eye. Probably won't hurt it. It'll probably just annoy it, and then I'll
Poke the eye.
I don't want to annoy the thing that's talking to me.
Okay, so
So I'm going to clear off the table and like with attitude because I'm tired of listening to this thing talk about do something different. So I'm gonna walk over and grab like a stopwatch or something and go like, "This interesting enough for you?"
it was a stopwatch?
Yeah, kind of like one of those old-fashioned clocks or stopwatches, whichever one you see.
Oh, is it working?
I don't know. Let's try it out. And I click the thing on top, see if it starts running up.
All right, make a let's do sleight of hand or investigation with advantage.
This is the only one that's like plausible for what actually happened for his backstory because, you know, it could actually be reasonably possible that these things just powered on by accident.
Yeah.
So sleight of hand or invisibility? I mean,
Sleight of hand or investigation, yeah, as you try and manipulate and mechanize. That sort of thing.
I think let's go with sleight of hand.
With advantage, I said.
Oh, with advantage. Okay.
Okay. With a 10, you get it. So you manage to play with it. You get it like clicking, and it starts. So you wind it up. You get it going. It's like, and the Modron eye goes, "Oh, that's got so much inside just to make that little click. How'd you get it to do that? What else can you do?"
I can try improving it, but I'm not sure how much there is to improve.
Okay. Well, what do you want to try? It seems like you've got ideas.
Oh no, I'm gonna add a little bit of magic, see, since you won't be quiet about it. See if that changes anything.
Oh.
So then,
You can do.
Arcana?
Yeah, do Arcana.
no advantage.
With advantage because this creature's encouraging you.
Okay, so it's like a bardic inspiration of sorts.
Sure. Yeah. Wow.
That was a good
19 with Arcana.
Well, you're never seeing that dice again.
It's gone. So Arcana
Gone.
is intelligence, so that's a 21.
Okay. With the 21, you watch as you put magical energies into this. Your magical energies start infusing this stopwatch, and as you look, the automaton, you see a stream of energy coming from it and getting mixed in and intertwined with the energy that you're trying to put in. As the lights swirl together, you hear a sucking sound, like a vacuum, as the automaton iris closes and the stopwatch now has your magical energy, and whatever that was seems to be inside it.
This watch better not come up, like wake up at night and start talking to me.
And then everything goes white, and you're back in the dining room as it's like a slow fade to white and then back to reality.
that the automaton should have been like Manigir.
Too late.
So, and to Hemo heard this advice about like consider your strengths. So, what was the last thought Hemo had in that scenario?
That I need to look to my team to help with the strengths and the people around me. So I need to start relying on my team to help me in the areas that I'm weak to build the strengths that I need.
And what is one thing Hemo would plan to say or ask of his team to start that process?
That we work together in the things that we try to accomplish, and that we have strong and solid communication between all of us. I think that's a start.
So say it. So say what you're the thoughts as if you're Hemo saying it to the rest of the team right now.
The team, I had a weird out-of-body experience where I was told that I need to rely and look on the strengths of my team. So I think for us, in order for us to be strong and continue to be able to make this journey, we must communicate effectively. We must constantly communicate and make sure that we have good, strong conversations before decisions are made to ensure that those decisions are going to benefit us and keep us safe from harm.
I explained the merits of theft to a painting.
So, you all look, and Hemo's eyes are still glazed. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh. 18 plus 6, 25, 4.
Okay. As you say these things, you hear the voices of the three that were standing there say, as you find yourself being able to shake out of this before you think they're fully done saying it, you hear them say, leadership asks questions, and then they disappear as you come into the room. And that's where, and so now all of you have, so nobody heard the things Hemo was saying.
Nope.
And so, but all of you now come back into that space, and the turtle will say, well, it looks like most of you got most of the way. Perhaps we can work together after all. And then that's where we'll end for the day.